I don't know why I keep saying Facebook. All right, well, anyway, YouTube. I meant to say YouTube. All right, this is my second live video for today. And I just wanted to talk about this whole concept of purpose. You know, I hear people talk about it a lot online, mostly in like a spiritual narrative. You know, a lot of people talk about, finding your purpose. Yo, I don't plan on making this video long, like my last one. I have a lot of time where I just walk around and think a lot. I'm at work right now, and I just have a lot of time to just think. And a lot of times, I have a talking point in my head, and I'm kind of just thinking topics in my head, and I go, you know what? I want to make a short video about that, and that's just kind of how it happens. So, again, this is my second video, live video today. I made one about roughly 2 hours ago, maybe, and it was like 9 minutes long, roughly, and that was about, your inner, the whole concept of, going within, and how I hear a lot of people say things like, going within, and I talked about that whole concept in my very last live video, and how, I felt like there's no such thing as within. So if y'all want to listen to that topic, I made it like 8 or 9 minutes long because I didn't want to make it. Most of my live videos are very long, so I'm trying to make a variety of short and long style live videos. But anyway, back to this live. So I wanted to talk about briefly the whole concept of having a purpose, or some people might say, having, finding what your purpose is, or what your meaning of life is. And I used to believe that everybody had to figure out what their purpose is. And even still, sometimes I drive myself nuts trying to figure out, well, what is my purpose? And, people say, your purpose is, whatever you would do, you would still do if, you didn't have to work or something like that. And I feel like whenever we try to figure out, purpose, what our purpose is, it kind of like puts pressure on us to to find out something that I feel like is kind of unknowable. Now, there's things that I like to do, sometimes, there's things I can say I find fun or I enjoy doing, but I don't think there's anything that I just love doing so much that I would label my purpose. You know what I mean? When people say like your purpose, there's nothing that nothing. I mean, from the things that I love doing, that I just feel like this is what I'm on the earth to do. Like, this is my meaning. And I don't really want to have a purpose. I don't want to, because my thing is this. I just feel like there's no possible way that can know for sure what their purpose is. I mean, because, yeah, sure, you can tell yourself that, yeah, this thing that I'm doing right now kind of feels like my purpose. But then tomorrow, or like next year, or next, a couple of years, you could feel completely different about it. Maybe you don't have the same enthusiasm about it that you once did. Like people that get into careers, you know, in the beginning, they're like really enthusiastic about it and they love it. But then after a little while, you know, they kind of lose the passion for it. I'm not saying this happens all the time, but it does definitely happen. And I kind of also feel like too, like once you start doing something, you know, strictly to become successful and make money from it, I kind of feel like too, you kind of like just naturally lose some of that passion for it because, you know, it becomes something. It becomes something that it's like this pressure behind having to get good enough to make lots of money at it, you know, and it goes from being just fun to I have to get really, really good at this to make money at it, you know? And so a passion kind of turns into like this survival driven, you know, activity, if that makes sense. You know, but again, like I just feel like, you know, anything that you do that, you can tell yourself that, oh yeah, this is my purpose. Again, like how could you possibly know for sure? How could anybody possibly know without a shadow of a doubt that anything that they're doing is their purpose? I don't think it actually exists. You know, I think we just tell ourselves these things. And yeah, sure, you can create the idea or the narrative in your mind that, okay, this thing that I'm doing is my purpose. But at the end of the day, I feel like we just kind of make up these ideas in our mind. I don't think we have to have a purpose. I think that we just have to feel like we're creating new experiences for our life so that our life doesn't feel empty. You know, I think that's the biggest thing, is to keep this feeling of newness and freshness, you know, in life, so that our life feels, you know, full and fresh, doesn't feel stale. You know, we're not bored, we're not, you know, feeling unfulfilled, like we're just kind of doing the same things day in and day out every day until we die. I feel like that's the most important thing. You know, I just feel like whenever you tell somebody they have to find their purpose, and then when they kind of feel like they can't figure out what that is, now they're just kind of walking around through life just feeling like, oh, well, shit, you know, what am I going to do? I can't figure out my purpose. And it's like, maybe you don't have to actually have a purpose. Why do you need to have a purpose? I feel like, you know, and a lot of people are going to probably say, oh, you're just being mediocre. You don't have any direction. And maybe that's kind of true. Maybe people that don't have purpose don't have a direction, you know? But again, I say, like, how can you possibly know for sure, like, what is the right or wrong thing to do? Because you can tell yourself that, oh, this thing that I'm doing, this is my path, this is my direction, this is my purpose. But then, you know, you can do all these things and put your all into something, and then, you know, years down the line, end up feeling like, you know, you made the wrong choice or took the wrong path. So it's just like, just because you decide to do something and you make a decision to commit yourself to a process or to, you know, a goal, it doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. It's just a choice, you know? And so if, you know, hopefully it does work out for you, but if it doesn't work out, you know, then what? Then what? I just feel like or me personally, I just feel like I have to stop putting all this weight on my soul, on myself, feeling like I have to figure out life. Like I have to accomplish, you know, something big in order to do life right, you know? And, you know, granted, I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying new things, but it's not like I'm trying to really do something big, and the majority of people, when you say these things, they'll make you feel like, you're mediocre, and and it's not that. It's really hard to say without people putting you in a certain kind of category, because see, I'm the type of person where I don't like being put in categories, and I don't like labels, which is why I don't even like to use certain terms and phrases. Like in the spiritual community, people call you, spiritual and chosen, and star seeds, all this kind of stuff, which I can identify with some of those concepts in certain ways. But then there's also like kind of cliche, things that come with those labels and titles, where it's like, yeah, but everybody goes through that too, though. It's not just, it's not just me, or it's not just you. A lot of the stuff that people attach to these labels, it's like, no, everybody deals with that. Everybody has those struggles. But again, I get what they're saying. I identify with it in some way, but then sometimes it's just kind of like, yeah, but also this is also just life too. I'm kind of like somewhere in between. I just really don't like, being put into a box. And when I, for me personally, when I say stuff like, my purpose, it's like, I don't know anything. I have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring. I have ideas, and I have a concept of what I would like my life to look like. But, one thing I've learned is nothing about this life is, guaranteed. Like, we don't have absolute full control over, every single event that happens, because if we did, life will be exactly the way that we want it to be. So I have a hard time when it comes down to just when I hear people say things like, oh, you have to figure out your purpose and you have to, live that. I'm like, I have no clue what that even means or what it even looked like. I don't think anybody can know for sure, what their purpose is. And again, why do you have to have a purpose? Like, why do we feel like we have to have a single purpose in our life? When honestly, if I'm being honest, I think the biggest and only real purpose of life and existence is to experience living. It's that's the main purpose of life, or your life. It's to be alive. Everything else is just a bonus. And I'm not saying like, don't experiment and adventure, and I'm not saying not to try. Of course you should try. But I just feel like so many of us, like, we attach our self-worth to the outcome, or how far or close we are to achieving this goal of, our purpose, and, I gotta accomplish this. And, some people make it so big, it's like, oh, generational curses and stuff like this. It's like, no, you don't have to make it that serious. Like, I used to think like that too, but I'm like, my attitude now is, I do the best that I can with where I'm at. I do the best that I can with where I'm at, with what I have. And I mean, I'm open to growth. I'm open to new experiences. But, I don't put a lot of pressure on myself no more, especially nowadays. I just feel like everybody today is trying to prove something, and I'm like, why does everybody feel the need? Oh man, it's cold air. It's getting cold, y'all. It's getting really cold out here. But why does it seem like everybody feels a need to try to prove something? And I find myself kind of getting pulled into this same type of, I guess, state of being where, I'm constantly feeling like, nothing I'm doing is really ever enough until I have this, finish, I reach this point of accomplishing something really big to show everybody, like, look at what I accomplished. Look at how successful I am, And I feel like no matter how hard I work, unless I have something to show people, because you have to do something big, apparently, in this life, in this world, to matter, to be enough. It's never just, you're enough as you are. You have to constantly be trying to reach towards something more than what you already are, And again, like, don't mistake what I'm saying as don't try new experiences or, I'm not saying not to try to see, what your potential is, but I just feel like we're doing it in a way that's just very destructive to our real self. It's like we're basically putting which we accomplish versus, compared to everybody else. And everybody's kind of just comparing themselves. And I see so much content on the internet where everybody is kind of telling everybody the same things, where it's like, again, you just have to constantly just push yourself. Like, what are we aiming for? What is everybody aiming towards? It's just like everybody's just telling everybody, you got to work harder and you got to just push harder. You got to just, I'm like, what are we actually aiming for here? Like, what is, what I'm saying? I understand, like, wealth is the goal, but I don't think anybody even really knows, like, how much is enough. Like, how much is enough income? How much is enough money? How much is enough? You ask one person, what wealthy is, they'll tell you $1 billion, $1 million. We're all trying to reach this place of success. And I don't even think anybody really knows exactly what that even looks like. Like, how much is enough money? Like, how much is, like, what is the goalpost here? And then too, it kind of feels like the goalpost is always moving. Like, once you save up 10 grand or 20 grand, like, between the inflation and the cost of living, like, that 10 grand you have saved up is more like, I don't know, 8 or 9 grand, depending on. So, like, the goalpost is always, like, kind of being moved, so it's like, what are we even saying, right? And I understand, like, it's different for everybody. About to go on here, chill for a second. So glad that we got this heater in here now, because put that there. Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, so like I was saying, the goalpost is constantly moving. I just see everybody. It just seems like everybody that I watch. When I say everybody, I mean, like, I watch a lot of content on the internet, and it just seems like everybody is just kind of saying the same thing. And I hope that I'm not doing that. I don't think I am, but I mean, I think I do sometimes, but everybody is just trying to reach this place in life. And I find myself wondering, like, okay, like, like what are we doing here? Like, I just feel like so much time is going by, and so many people spend so many years of their life working hard and trying to, achieve these ideas of success and financial stability, and don't get me wrong, like I do that too. Even me, like I'm every day, like I'm either on here on the internet, or I'm at home trying to work on designs, and I'm just trying to find a way to make more money. But it's just like I kind of sometimes I just get into these states where I'm like, man, like I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I get stuck in these two modes of being, where I kind of feel like I'm just I can't really explain it, man. Like I feel like it's me, but it's not me. I feel like I feel like I have to prove something by achieving something big so that I can be enough. In other words, I don't know if what I'm doing is something that I genuinely want to do, or if I'm just trying to prove something. You know what I'm saying? In other words, like as a man, if I don't, achieve something big or find a way to become rich, like am I doing what I'm doing so that I can prove to myself that I'm enough? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that sometimes, like, and I feel like so many people are trying to prove that they're enough by accomplishing something big. And I'm not saying that it's wrong by trying to achieve something big and, trying to see what your potential is, but I feel like I feel I'm kind of split minded about it. And like I said, it kind of just comes back to this whole idea of like potential. It's like, I mean, not potential, but purpose. Everybody's talking about you have to find your purpose. You have to know what your purpose is. I'm just like, dude, I'm 36 years old, and I have no idea what my purpose is. And I've thought about these things. I think about it. Like people always say stuff like you have to just kind of sit with yourself in silence and meditate. And I do these types of things all the time. So I'm like, well, I've done that. I do it on a consistent, regular basis. I sit with myself a lot. Contrary to popular belief, I have lots of time to just sit and think about stuff and contemplate and go within and stuff like that. And in my last video, I just talked about the concept of going within. But I have lots of alone time. Like most of my time is alone. I spend most of my time alone. Like stuff like this right here. Like when I'm here at work, like I'm either working on my website or just doing research to try to just figure out just general information that could help me out, But I have tons and tons of time where I just sit and just think and, contemplate and reflect on just my life, what direction I want to go. And lately, it really hasn't changed much. It's just, I know I want to travel. I know I want to be a nomad still. And I'm just trying to figure out how to do that. I have really no idea except for just find the way to make more money or get a business going. And you know what I'm saying? But, for the most part, like my desires, my plans, my goals, they're pretty much the same. I really, people say you shouldn't say this kind of thing, but I really don't really care about being rich. I more so want to be comfortable. Now people might consider me rich, but I'm not, me personally, I'm not trying to have a lot of things that outwardly, show and say, hey, look at me, I'm successful, I have lots of money, I'm rich. I used to, but the older I've gotten, the more I've kind of just, reflected internally and kind of realize more so like what life is and how people kind of are, I kind of realized that a lot of the reasons why I wanted to have a lot of things was to attract people. You know what I'm saying? Certain types of people. But now I understand that if I want those things just to attract those people, if those people aren't here right now, then I don't really want those things. I just wanted necessarily the things that come with those things, you know? So, again, I want to be financially stable. I don't want to, have this flashy, extravagant show of status, just, I don't really care about that no more. Oh, wow. Someone's actually on here. I just noticed that just now. Hey, my one viewer, what's up? I don't know who it is, but appreciate the like. Oh, it's Yahweh. What's up, Yahweh? I was just blabbing on and on. I was hypothetically, even the good people don't want to be your friends unless you pay us. We struggled and put up with too much of y'all shit to give our light for free. I'm confused. Like, who is we and who are you referring to? Yahweh's in the building. He's always coming like, with this, but like I said, I appreciate the conversation still. He always enters, or he or she, I don't know if it's a he or she. I'm assuming it's a he. They always come with like a grand entrance of some, kind of bold energy in a chat whenever they come. But Yahweh says, hypothetically, even the good people don't want to be your friends unless you pay us. I'm not sure what he means by pay us. We struggled and put up with too much of y'all's shit to give our light for free. So, yeah, it means happiness and good is separating itself. Emptiness because there's no point. It means happiness and good is separating itself. Emptiness because there's no point. I'm just trying to understand the context of what you're saying before I reply. I can agree with that. I do believe that sometimes it's easier to be happy by yourself. I just got done watching a video on YouTube. This guy, he was talking about how he finds it, even though he's lonely, he finds it easier to be happy being by himself because he just feels like he can't really relate to the world very much. So I don't know if you mean it in that way, kind of separating yourself from everybody you can't relate to. There's not very many people I feel like I can relate to, if that makes sense. I mean, I this world is doing what it's doing. There's very few people that I can relate to these days. So, I mean, hypothetically, I prefer to be around people who make me happy, but I refuse to be around people who don't. Well, I believe that everybody at some point is going to do something that don't make you happy. I don't think that nobody in this world is going to make you happy all the time. I used to have that expectation of, people, but like, I don't feel like anybody you deal with, they have good and bad qualities. I don't look for people to just always make me feel good. I just look for people to be honest and be real, even if I don't like it. If your truth, in other words, if you say something I don't like, if you're saying it with good intentions because you're being honest and real, and I just happen not to like it, then I'm not going to hold that against you. I feel like a lot of people in this world, if someone says something they don't like, they automatically kind of label them as, bad or negative. But it's like, no, they have their own beliefs and their own experiences. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're, a negative person because something they said makes you feel a certain way. I'm just open to other people's perspective, not just mine, But that's something I had to kind of, I had to arrive at that point, I didn't always used to be like that, I don't put up with people's shit. I'm tired of normalizing people's BS. I mean, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't, you shouldn't, Yahweh, of course, you shouldn't put up with people's stuff. What I'm saying is, I just understand that people have a different perspective than mine. So, like even what you're saying right now, you're saying that, in other words, I'm saying that I understand other people's perspectives outside of just my perspective. What I'm saying is, I kind of feel like a lot of times, I feel like there's such a thing as toxic positivity where a lot of people, I feel like they feel like if you're saying something contrary to what you're saying or what I'm saying, I feel like if you say something that rubs them the wrong way because they don't understand it personally and it makes them feel bad, they'll label you a negative person because something that you say, and really you were just saying something based off of your perspective. But if they don't like it, they might label what you said as negative, and they'll label you negative because you said it, And I just personally, I see a lot of that on the internet now because it's kind of like why I don't really make as much content, because I feel like if I say the wrong thing or it's taken the wrong way, you know, the few subscribers I have, they're gonna like not want to fuck on my channel no more. And I have had that happen. But it's just like, well, I mean, I would rather be sincere and be real with how I feel than just say what people want me to say because they like what I'm saying, If I can't say how I really feel, then what's the point in coming on here? So for me, like, I feel like it's more important to be honest with yourself and, how you really feel, even if it makes other people feel weird about it, Now I try to, not say things that make people feel a certain way, but sometimes I do because it's just how I feel personally, So people's characters speak louder than the words they say. People's characters. I have to be around somebody to know their character. I don't really go by. Well, I do go by their words, but me personally, I go by different things. I go by a couple of different things. I go by their actions, their words, mostly their actions though, but their words too. Their patterns too. But I actually, how can I say this? I actually get to know somebody before I actually come to a conclusion about them, because a lot of times I've made assumptions about people and I've just basically gotten to know them, and I've realized that like, for example, like I've worked with people, and when I first started working with them, like, because I wasn't really used to being around different kind of people, I've like made judgments about people based off of maybe how they look or just their demeanor. But then, like, once I worked around them and kind of see how they really are on a daily basis, I'm like, oh no, this person isn't an asshole. This is just their personality. But their personality is that's just them. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like I used to work with this one guy at Waffle House. The other store I used to work at, and he used to come off as just like really kind of an asshole, really. This big, tall, white guy. But the more I worked there, the more I realized that he was actually respectful. He was just a really masculine dude. When he talked to me, he was, polite. He was, like, my first impression was he was kind of just rude, kind of even disrespectful. But like the longer I worked there, the more I realized that he was a pretty cool, chill dude. He was just, he didn't take people's shit, basically. You know what I'm saying? So just stuff like that. You know, it's just once you get to know people, you kind of understand like more of who they really are, not just your first, you know, impression, basically. If that makes sense. Let's see, the body language patterns and speech patterns, way they talk, how they word things. Yeah, like I said again, I mean, that's just me personally. Everybody sees the world how they see the world. But me personally, I actually have to get to know someone before I say, hey, you're a bad person. You know, like bad people do exist. But I feel like me personally, like a lot of people, you know, they kind of jump the gun. So yeah, I feel like we're too disconnected. I feel like too many people today, like everybody feels like everybody is, you know, everybody's so standoffish with people. And I kind of get it because I have introverted ways. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, too, I try to be an embracing person until like I just realize like it's impossible for me to embrace you. Like for me, like to be like, okay, I can't embrace you as a human being, as a fellow human being. Like you have to really, really do something really bad to where I'm like, okay, this person is really dangerous. You know, meaning like you trying to harm me physically or something like that. I feel like too many people take advantage of others and they dumb asses created this shit. Take advantage of others. I know how this shit mystery Babylon works. I don't play dumb. I mean, it's gonna always be that. It's gonna always be, you know, people that try to take advantage. I mean, that's just a part of life, in my opinion. But I mean, yeah. Sorry, I was drinking my coffee. But yeah, I mean, that's just everybody ain't nice, you know. Everybody's not nice. Everybody is not like, for example, like, and I'm gonna be honest, like for me personally, I'm the type of person where you have to really just really, 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 because I have a really high tolerance for people. When I mean like tolerance, I mean like you really just have to show me like a really, really dark side of you on a consistent basis before I just give up. Like for example, like my ex-girlfriend, like we dated on and off for years. Well, I won't say years, but like a couple times at least. We dated on and off, and like, you know, I like this last time I dated her, like I would say about a year, roughly a year and a half ago, you know, I finally just gave up on her for good. I'm like, you know, I really like this girl, but the stuff that she was doing, I literally felt sick trying to continue our relationship. It was like, I feel like nothing I did was going to make this woman happy. And I'm just like, you know, I cannot make myself sick because, you know, I want to be with you, you know, and it took a lot for me to just really completely cut her off because she had done things to me before that just were fucked up. But, you know, I'm a type of person or being, whatever you want to call it, where I try to understand people's trauma and give them a chance to work through it while they're with me. But like once I seen that, she kind of, it's almost like she seen that I was going to work through her trauma. And it's almost like she kind of looked at that as a weakness. I'm like, hold up. Like, I'm actually trying to show you, like, I can see through your trauma and see the good in you. But you're going to take that as like, I don't know. But apparently she kind of just took it. And a lot of people do this. They take your kindness as a weakness or for ignorance. And once I realized that or sensed that, I'm like, you know what, fuck this. If you think I'm some type of, you know, just dummy, like, I'm like, this is not even what that is. I was just trying to say that, you know, I understand
that what you have been through has caused you trauma and is making you be a dumbass sometimes, but I'm trying to work with you. But apparently she's seen that in this, I don't know, she just seen it as a weakness. So I said, okay, cool. I had to let that go. But that's just one example. You know what I'm saying? I will try with somebody until I feel like there's no point in trying no more. And that's just like, you know, I'm very, very patient with people. Extremely patient. Probably too patient. So don't cry when, let's see what it says. It's not a part of my life, so don't cry when everyone else opts out too. And we stop even giving people chances. Exactly how you feel about her is how a lot of people feel about others now. Yeah, I mean, everybody, you know, it is what it is, you know. It's some people, and she was like the type too, like she didn't really want to, like, she wanted to be in a relationship, but she didn't want to be in a relationship, you know. And so I feel like she just kind of wanted to run the streets, honestly, which I asked her, like, are you sure you want to date? And she was like, yeah, I want to date. I'm like, are you sure? Because she, as much as I liked her, she did not strike me as the, you know, relationship type. You know what I'm saying? She's just a very kind of sensual type of girl, which is fine. But that's why I asked her, like, are you sure you want to do this? And she's like, yeah, I want to be with you, blah, blah, blah. So everybody ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but if you tell me you want something, then I'm going to take your word for it. But it was nuts. I don't know. Hypothetically, she was trying to use you or something. I think she was, you know, I think she was kind of struggling financially. And I think a lot of people in relationships nowadays are looking for help more than the actual real connection. Sadly, most people today, they're either looking for status or it's something superficial or they're looking for help, which, I mean, depending on what stage your relationship is, I don't have any problem like contributing, but a lot of people just expect you to come in doing financial stuff from the get-go. I'm like, no, like, I'm not your father. Like, I gotta get to know you first and figure out if you're the type of woman that, or, you know what I'm saying, that I want to actually invest in that way. But I don't even know you yet, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Like, a lot of people are on that type of time nowadays. Like, that's not a relationship. That is, that's bribery, bro. What are you talking about? I can't stand that, man. Yeah, I think she was. I mean, like, she did stuff for me too. Like, she did stuff for me too, but like, she was also trying to get stuff out of me. And the thing about me is, like, you don't have to ask me for, like, once I know what type of situation, what it is, like, I'm going to just do shit automatically. But like, when I'm in that stage where I'm trying to get to know you and see like what type of chick you are, like, I'm not going to just come in and just be doing stuff. Like, because for one thing, like, one of the reasons why I don't is because I'm trying to determine if I don't do these things, are you still going to fuck with me? If you stop fucking with me, if I don't do certain things, then that tells me right then and right there that she don't really fuck with me. You just want to get shit out of me. You feel me? So there's a method to my madness. A lot of men need to start moving like that. A lot of men are leading with their money in relationship, and they think that the woman that they're with is with them because of who they are as a man or as a person. But a lot of men find out that once they stop doing certain things, like the love goes away, the affection goes away, the commitment goes away. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a real thing. That's why I say, like, you should never lead with your wallet. Not in the beginning. You know? Man and woman. You know what I'm saying? And even like with women, like, a lot of women, like, they'll lead with sex. It's like, well, you know, if you don't give that man sex up, you know, at the very beginning, like, is he going to, like, not want to talk to you no more? Because a lot of men like that too. And I'm not going to lie, like, there have been times where I've thought like that because I've had negative experiences. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been that guy that's taking a woman out on a bunch of dates, and then I come to find out she's like entertaining multiple men. I'm like, why am I spending all this money? You know what I'm saying? If she's already putting out the other men. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of started to feel like, well, if I'm going to be putting out money financially on going out on like, you know, expensive dates and buying gifts and shit, like, you know, I want to get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to adopt that mindset. It was just, I felt like the only reason why I started thinking like that was because I felt like I was being taken advantage of, basically. But that's just how it goes sometimes, though. That shit happens. A lot of men think like that now. A lot of men feel like, well, if they take a woman out on a date, they like, well, but it's like, and men only think that again because men have become aware that this person is entertaining other people that probably aren't even doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just dating nowadays is just different. It's a whole different ballgame, man. It's way different. Hypothetically, I don't entertain women unless they chase me. They gotta be special. That's kind of like what type of time I'm on now. Like me personally, my whole approach to dating now has completely changed. Like now, I don't feel like, at least, especially like nowadays, I don't think any man should like pursue a woman. And I say that because, for one, like the times that we live in, like at any given time, women have so many men in their DMs shooting their shot, you know, trying to blah, 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 whatever. I just feel like as a man, like a woman should be letting that man know that, hey, she's interested in him. Like me, unless a woman is just outright flirt with me to where I can't like ignore it, like I don't even see the point in like approaching her. Before, you know, I might have seen a woman or a girl, or you know, so I may have went over there and be like, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I've never like really been the type to really even approach women like that. But the times that I have, like, you know, I kind of felt like I was bothering her maybe. But that's why I say I don't do that no more. I've only done it a handful of times. The other times I've kind of already known the person, or, you know, was a friend of a friend or something like that. But I don't think any guy should just be like walking around and being like, hey girl, what's your name is? What's your number? Like, I think that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the woman should choose a man, or just make it like extremely obvious to where like, you don't, like, in other words, I don't feel like any man should have to sit there and wonder like, man, I don't know if she like me. I don't think she might, but you know what I'm saying? Like, because I know as a man, if a woman likes you, if she really likes you, she's gonna let you know for sure. You don't have to sit there and guess about it and be like, I don't know, man. Like, what do you think? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no like guessing about it. Like, I've seen women that are into men. They've been very clear and direct about it. There was no guessing about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you have to like guess about it, like it probably ain't that deep. I always knew that women who chase and approach first are the best. Nobody trying to beg for basic shit. Right, exactly. And I've had women that have, I can't say I've never been chased, but I've had women that have been very flirtatious. And like right now, like there's somebody somewhere I work at, and they're just very, very flirtatious in a very subtle way. And I keep trying to ignore it because, you know, I'm not really trying to get romantic right now necessarily, but like they're very flirtatious, you know what I'm saying? And like it's very like, you can't really, like, you know, when the woman is flirting with you, it's very obvious, you know, like they'll say like sexual stuff out of nowhere and then like try to joke about it and make it seem like it's just, you know, a joke when you wasn't saying nothing sexual. You was just literally just being just normal. And they'll say like some sexual type of statement for no reason out of nowhere. So and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's that type of thing. And I'm just like, but anyway, I always knew that. But yeah, I don't believe in chasing women, man. It's too much work, and there's too many men trying to deal with that one woman. I just feel like if a woman wants a man, like she knows how to make it plainly obvious. If it's not like, in other words, if it's not, I'm not saying I want a woman to be easy, but I don't think no man or anybody should have to sit there and guess and wonder. Because I used to actually believe that, you have to try harder if, the woman's not being direct. But now I'm just like, no. Because I've seen women that are interested in men. They're very direct. They're not doing this maybe type of stuff. It's like, no, it's very direct. It's very clear to know. When women, when they want to be clear and direct, they can be. You know what I'm saying? So now that I know that, I don't even play that game no more. It's like, if you're not being direct, if you're not being forefront with me, I'm just going to take it as it ain't that deep. Because I'm not going to waste my energy. Nobody should waste their energy, especially when this person you potentially might be interested in is probably being pursued by God knows how many other men outside of you. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth the extra effort. You know what I'm saying? So, in other words, nobody just wants to feel like a fucking option. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, this weather is like changing. Hey, Yahweh, what part of the country are you in? I'm in South Carolina, and the weather is like just starting to change to like, it's getting cold now. I'm kind of mad because I'm not going to be able to ride my motorcycle as much while it's cold. I've had women reject me emotionally, but they wanted to be friends with benefits. I realized lots of them want entertainment, not relation. Yeah, I mean, I've had similar situations like that. I've had women where I've dated them and then we broke up. And then they kind of hung around, and then we kind of ended up being friends with benefits. Like that happened with like I'm gonna be honest, that happened with like, Nicole, like 3 or 4 of my girlfriends. I'm gonna be honest, like most of my girlfriends, we like went through that stage where like I dated them, then we broke up, and then they were like, "You want to be friends still?" And I was like, I guess. And me in the back of my mind, like I knew like, if we were still hanging around each other, it was going to turn into like a friends with benefits type of deal. But I was just like, okay, cool. And that's what happened. Yeah, it's getting colder out here. Yeah, I'm kind of mad because I can't ride my motorcycle as much. But whatever. Whatever. But yeah, man, like I decided with my last girlfriend, because she was trying to be friends with benefits still too. I'm like, no, you're toxic, and we tried this before, and it just ends up turning into this thing where I can't do it no more. I mean, I walked away. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, this is bad for my mental health. Like the games, the emotional manipulation, the emotional like roller coasters with this person was just, I started to feel sick, like spiritually. And I said, I can't do this no more. Like, I love you, but I can't do it. Like it was too much. It was too much. Like when I finally give up on somebody, when I finally give up, I love a lot. Like it's ain't no going back. Yeah, I blocked her. Like if I block you, you've done something very, very serious. Most people I date, I don't block. But if I block you, it means you betrayed me in a way that I don't even feel like interacting with you is safe for my mental health. That's what me blocking somebody means. If I block you, it means that spiritually, emotionally, I don't feel safe interfacing or interacting with you in any type of way at all. Otherwise, I won't block you. If you say hey every now and then, I'm like, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I just couldn't do it, So yeah. Why you blocked? Because she was destroying me mentally and spiritually. That's why I blocked her. And I didn't block her. When I finally decided to block her, it was for a couple of different reasons. So I didn't block her until I realized what she was doing. She would literally, what she was doing, it was very intentional. She was basically playing with my emotions, basically causing me all this inner turmoil, and pretty much constantly sending me on this emotional roller coaster. It's like, people that kind of reel you in just to kind of, let you down constantly. Well, that's what she was doing emotionally. Like, she would do the type of shit where she would make me feel like, okay, she got the point, like she understood what she was doing, and then make it seem like she was gonna stop doing what she was doing, and then like a week later do something like 10 times worse, and then wash, rinse, and repeat. This is a constant thing. And like I kept trying to fix and work on the relationship, and things she would complain about, I would actually try to fix it. And then like as soon as I would fix it, she would like create something else new, and then like do something else stupid or crazy. And I'm sitting here losing my mind trying to make this woman happy, and she just keeps finding more reasons to not be happy. And I was like, I can't, no, this is gonna drive me nuts. So I left that alone. I couldn't do it. Like I literally started to feel dealing with this woman. That's how bad it got. Like I didn't feel safe. Like her energy was not, how a woman's supposed to kind of feel, feminine and nurturing, and just women should have a certain energetic aura about them. And most women today, I don't get that from. It's like this constant feeling of needing to kind of like be on your toes. What, like, oh shit, like what's gonna happen now? You know what I'm saying? Like most relationships that I've been in the past couple of years, that they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe emotionally. They don't feel safe spiritually. Why are these cones knocked over? I don't know who keeps doing this. Oh, she's blocked. She's blocked. I did block her. Like I blocked her on Facebook. I blocked her on my cell phone. I blocked like 3 numbers from her. Yeah, because she would keep trying to call me from different numbers. Pick this up. Oh shoot. Got my handy dandy taser.
pick these cones up real quick. But yeah, she's blocked. I blocked her on like all my platforms. Like I said, I only blocked her because every time we would break up and, you know, she would reel me back in, it was like I always ended up feeling worse than what I felt, you know, when I had stopped dealing with her. And it was so weird because like as soon as I would stop like dealing with her, I would start to feel so good. You know, I would start to feel so good. And then here she comes. She called me. Here she go. You know, she'll say some bullshit. Then, okay, I end up going back over there. We end up, you know, fooling around again. And then like within like a day or two, I just feel horrible. I felt horrible. I'm like, why is this woman making me feel like this? Like, I'm like, there's no way. I felt so good like 2 days ago. Like, I felt like peaceful. I felt good. I felt like I was feeling good. I'm like, how is this possible? I had to stop, man. Like, I had to quit. That's why I basically had stopped dealing with her, pretty much. Oh shoot, he's gone. I think Yahweh's gone. But yeah, so I think this live took a completely different direction, but let me see. But yeah, I'm trying to think. The title of this live, or the message of it, was it was oh yeah. It was about purpose. Yeah. I did not intend to actually stream this long on here, but it's all good, I guess. But yeah, I don't feel like anybody has to have a purpose, man. I really don't. Like I said, I think the purpose of life is literally, you know, just to be alive. And then, you know, whatever you decide to do of a burden to, you know, say that this or that thing is my purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's way too much of a burden to label anything that you do or try. Because sometimes like a lot of stuff you try and they're doing, it's just something you're trying. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you just want to try something new. You know what I mean? I actually tried this new flavor of coffee today. Well, I mean, it's not the first time. It's pumpkin spice. And initially, I was like, damn, like I don't really like pumpkin spice flavored cream, coffee creamer. But it's actually not that bad though, actually. They were out of like the regular coffee creamer I get, which is like hazelnut and caramel and, you know, French vanilla and stuff like that. But you know, I tried it and it wasn't that bad. It was pretty good actually. It wasn't bad. I can't complain. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, okay, I'm back. But yeah, yeah, I don't think anybody really needs to, you know, actually you can say you have a purpose, but I personally I don't feel like there's such a thing as, you know, a purpose. You know, I think we just tell ourselves these things. Like I said, I've tried to sit down and just think like, oh, you know, what is my purpose and what should my purpose be? And I got to figure this out. I'm like, I don't feel like there's any definite way to know that you're doing the one thing that, you know, you were born to do. It's like, what if you're wrong? You know, what if you decide that, oh, I don't want to do this anymore? Like, are you going to like make a new purpose?
Okay, then how do you know that that new purpose is your one true purpose? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. To me, it just seems kind of, pointless to label anything that you do as your purpose. I don't know. It's just, I just feel like we start telling ourselves these things, and we get so wrapped up in our ego and this need to feel like we have to become this big deal. It's like, you don't really have to. Like, you can, but you don't have to. Like, I've just gotten comfortable, just personally, I've gotten comfortable with not needing to become anything for anybody. And I'm not saying that I won't, but I'm not, I don't feel like I have to become anything to be enough. Like, I feel like I'm enough right now. Now, me saying that is not saying that I don't have the ability to become something else, but I don't need to. Like, I don't need to become something more or something else to feel like I'm enough, or like I know my purpose. I don't think purpose really exists. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you possibly know? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, it sounds, the more I think about it, the more I just feel like, you're trying to create these labels. We try to, as human beings, we try to create these labels, and then we feel pressure to live up to them. And then when something happens and we feel like we can't live up to these labels or these boxes that we put around ourselves, or these facades that we kind of wear, or these costumes, it's like, then we feel like shit because, I said, oh, well, this is my purpose. And then one day something changes and you don't feel the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of like how I look at spirituality. Like, I feel like people kind of put on these like masks or facades of being spiritual. Like, people make it seem like if you're a spiritual person, you're supposed to always be like loving and polite and nice to people and loving everybody and everything, where that is a part of it. And I used to feel like that too. Like, if I'm not always happy and nice and sweet to everybody, like, am I really spiritual? But then I realized, like, just like existence itself, there's a dark and light side to everything. Like, and I'm not always in a good mood. Like, sometimes I just don't feel very nice and pleasant and joyful. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I'm stressed out. I'm worried. I'm anxious, depending on what's going on in my life. Like, and that's just called life. But it doesn't make me any less spiritual because I didn't say namaste. It just means that it's a rough fucking week. It just means that I'm trying to figure out life right now and I'm stressed out. But it doesn't mean that I don't understand that, the concept of oneness and, good energy and love and light and all that other shit. I remember that. I understand that still, but I understand that life is still happening too. You know what I'm saying? I understand that life is always happening. Like, life is life. And like, why do I need to hold up this image or facade of, what spirituality or what a spiritual person supposedly looks like? This cliche idea of, oh, I'm always so loving and light. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm a real fucking person with real problems, like, and that's just life. Doesn't mean I'm negative. It doesn't mean I'm low vibrational. It just means that life is lifing, and I cannot sit here and act like, oh, I'm positive all the time. It's like, I'm not. I'm not positive all the time. I am sometimes. I feel good and happy sometimes, but to me, it's fake. That's why I feel like there is such a thing as toxic positivity. If you're a type of person that needs to always feel like you look positive to everybody all the time, to me, you're fake. Because I know that nobody is that happy all the time. Like, why do you feel the need to try to convince everybody that you're always in this? I'm not telling you not to be happy, but the people that make you feel like, not in a happy mood or a high vibrational mood, like you're negative and you're low vibrational. It's like, yeah, sometimes. Like everybody is. Like, have you not ever cried or been angry about something? Like today, like I was out riding today, and someone like I was trying to get into the left lane, and some asshole just like beat his horn. Like I flicked him off. Like, what the fuck is your problem? I had my turning signal on. Like I'm being polite. I'm trying to get around without cutting the person in the lane beside me off. He's beep beep. I'm like, fuck off, man. Like it was a real sincere reaction. Like, slow the fuck down. I'm getting over as quick as I can. Shut the fuck up. Like, that shit's not necessary. I was angry. You know, like, that shit's not necessary. Just give me 2 seconds to get over and I'll be out your way. Like, I can't just jump in the other lane because you want me to be over there, like, right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that. Like, you know, so I don't know. It's just... Anyway. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me open this out, open this again, and because this screen is doing weird stuff. Let me my chat's not coming up. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I don't know why this is doing this. It does it sometimes. Okay, I'm back. My bad. I had to like pull up my live again. It's dark in here, so you probably can't really see me. Let me see. Oh, Yahweh is back. I thought you were going, Yahweh. I thought I was talking to myself still. Let's see. I stopped hanging out with a lot of people because I feel weird around them. I rejoined. People confuse frequency for mood. See, I think it's kind of all the same thing. To me, mood or emotions is frequency. Like, you know, I feel like people confuse mood and I feel like people can't tell the difference. You know, I mean, I feel like, in other words, like if someone's angry, like I don't say that their energy is bad. I just say like they're having a bad day. You know, if someone's sad, I just say I don't say, oh man, you're so low vibe. It's like, no, like you're just a human being. You're going through something and that's okay. Like you don't have to always be happy to be around people, to not be considered a positive person. Like you just, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't get that. I feel like it's judging somebody if they're going through whatever and they're angry, mad, or whatever. You know, I don't get that. This is why I don't really relate to a lot of this spiritual stuff. I relate to some of the spiritual concepts, but I just don't relate to people that say stuff like, oh, your energy is this. I'm like, no, like, I don't know them like that to make that judgment call. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know somebody enough to be like, oh, well, you're in a bad mood, so I'm going to just label you a negative person. Now, do those kind of people exist? Yeah, of course. I just find people today, they're so, especially in the spiritual community, they're really quick to call people negative and low vibrational because because of their mood. Like to me, mood, emotion, frequency, it's the same thing. Like your emotions are a frequency. Your mood is a frequency. It's a state of being. When you're happy and you're in a pleasant mood, you feel different. And probably the people around you feel different. When you're angry, people can feel when you're angry. When you're sad, people can feel when you're sad. They can tell. Whether it's by the look on your face or just the mood, just the general atmosphere. Like people can feel your energy. And I get annoyed with a lot of these spiritual types of people that label and judge everybody as negative and positive. It's like everybody's not negative that has a you know, that's sad or mad or angry. I just saw a shooting star. That was cool. Everybody is not, you know, low vibrational because they're not in a jolly old mood today. If that makes sense. Let's see what he says. Yahweh says, if someone is sad because how they're treated for their light, that's how frequency. But is a person angry? A person is happy with evil. That is low frequency. Well, first you have to say, well, okay, let me make sure I read this correctly. Someone is sad because how they are treated for their light. That's how frequency. Whether person's angry for at good. See, this is where it gets tricky because you know what one person calls good, another person might call bad. So a lot of this stuff when it comes to frequency is relative too. Like I've seen a lot of people call good bad and a lot of people call bad good. Even the Bible says that there will come a day where people will call bad good and good bad. So, you know, you may have one person doing something bad and in their mind, they're labeling it as good. And then someone doesn't like what they're doing. They see it as bad. And so the person that's doing the bad thing, but calling it good, they'll go, oh, that person doesn't like my light because they're perceiving something I'm doing as positive. But that other person may not see it as positive. You know, there's different lenses of perception too. Like, again, I try to be very balanced about all this stuff, but I understand because I've had it happen to me. Like I've been in situations where I've been genuinely trying to be sincere and honest. And I've had people like for example, like I'll tell somebody, like let's say I'm dating somebody and in my mind, I'm trying to communicate with them and tell them, hey, you know, when you do that thing, like I really, it makes me feel like shit. And I'm saying it in as calm and politely as I can. And then they respond with something like, you're always trying to start an argument. I'm like, I'm literally talking to you as calmly as I can, as respectfully and politely as I can. You're taking something that I'm doing to solve a problem. In my mind, is something positive, but you're saying that I'm causing problems and I'm bringing negative energy to you because I'm just literally telling you something that you did. Would you rather I not tell you? Would you rather me just ignore it and just let it get worse? But you're saying that I'm bringing negativity into a relationship because I am trying to be proactive and be a responsible adult and partner and communicate to you that something you're doing is kind of pissing me off. And I'm trying not to be an asshole about it. I'm being very nice and polite about it. You know, like I could just crash out like most niggas do, but I don't want to be that kind of partner. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to be that version of myself. Like that, like that's one example of like, you know, trying to do a proactive, positive thing, but they see it as negative. But I had every positive intention of making things better and actually improving things. Why are you always starting arguments? I didn't know talking politely was starting an argument. I wasn't aware of that. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like, how was that negative? Like, how was my energy negative when I'm literally doing something to fix a problem? The laws of physics. Okay. All right. Frequency isn't emotion. Frequency is what the universe determines. I feel somewhat different about that, but okay. I feel like frequency is just how I feel with I understand what you're saying. Like frequency is what the universe determines, but I also feel like it's relative to your lens of perception too. Like again, it's what I feel. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at the universe as something separate from me. So I don't feel like make it seem like the universe is something separate from them, and like the universe is a separate thing determining something for you. But I look at it like I am that thing that the universe is. And so when I say the universe, I'm talking about myself. You know, I don't. The universe is saying, okay, Omar, I'm going to place you on this reality. I think that you just decide that this is what it is, and you are that thing. You are that frequency. You are that dimension, or whatever you want to call it. I don't think the universe is saying you deserve to be here because this is your vibration. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the universe is this separate thing from us. I feel like it's literally just a choice, you know? God is the highest frequency and feels wrath and anger. Of course, that's what I'm saying. Like, we are God. We are aspects or portions of God, but it's all the same thing, though. See, you can even become polite, nice, and still free like shit. You can, the laws of physics determine free. Yeah, but my thing is, there's going to always be ups and downs. There's going to always be ups and downs because existence is not a constant upward state. You cannot stay in a high vibration forever and ever and ever. So when someone says, okay, you know, you're supposed to be always have a high frequency, it's like, oh, how is that possible? Like, nothing is constant forever. There's going to always be ups and downs, like frequency. Even the whole idea of a frequency, it's not, if it was just up, then it wouldn't be a frequency. A frequency, it varies. It goes up and down. It's not a constant upward motion. You know, like, there's no such thing as an always positive state, because if it were, then everybody would always be happy and positive all the time. You wouldn't even know what it meant to be angry or sad or bitter or jealous or any of those other things. Like, the fact that they exist tells you, like, they're supposed to exist. And if you experience them, doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that they're the opposite, or there's to some opposite degree of what pure joy and happiness is. Like, you know, if anger didn't exist, then pure joy and bliss couldn't exist, you know? Like, I just feel like, you know, nothing is meant to be constant. It's meant to be, you know, opposite. You're deeply ignorant if you think the universe keeps all here. You confuse the physical with the spiritual. It's not all just one. The Bible talks about the wheat from the tares. So you think I'm ignorant because if you think the universe keeps all here? That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said that we're all, like, the universe is inside of us. Like, I don't feel like there's some other thing that determines my inner state. Like, it doesn't determine, like, how I feel. Like, I determine how I feel. But I also recognize that life happens and there's a variation of how I decide to feel. It just happens. It's not something that I go, I'm going to feel mad right now. It just happens. Like, it's just energy. But I don't think that there's some force that's like, now you want to feel, you know, you're angry, so you want to be on this pain. I'm like, no, it's just the motions of existence. Like, when something happens, there's an equal and opposite reaction. When you're happy, you know, there's going to be a point in time where something's going to happen and you're not going to be happy anymore. You're going to be mad or sad or frustrated. And then eventually you'll be happy again. And that's just life. It's just existence. Like, we all get disappointed because we all have this belief that we're supposed to always be happy all the time. Like, I do not believe that we're meant to be happy, and if we're not happy all the time, we're doing something wrong. I don't believe that at all. You confuse the physical. Like, I just don't, you know. There's so many people that think that, like, you know, existence, reality and existence is literally constant change. Like, nothing is constant. Nothing stays the same. Nothing ever has and nothing ever will. Like, existence literally is chaos. If you believe that to be spiritual or to be enlightened and all this kind of stuff, that you have to be in this blissful state, or you're supposed to be in this blissful state all the time, to me, that's very ignorant, you know. And I say that respectfully, but there's so many spiritual people that they have this idea to be spiritual and to be enlightened is to basically, you know, be in this constant state of bliss. And I'm like, that's just not how reality works, you know. Who told you that? I'm not saying that you shouldn't be happy. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be happy. I'm saying that if you expect to be happy forever, then you're going to be disappointed. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think that you're going to be happy and you're never going to experience problems, no matter how, you know, much meditating you do and how much, you know, positive things you do, like, to me, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Like, that's what I'm saying. And that's just my opinion. You know, I feel like people, they live in like this, and I don't think that makes me any more or less, you know, high vibrational or low vibrational. I just think that I don't expect to have this reality where I don't have any problems if I, you know, meditate every day and think positive thoughts and say affirmations. To me, there's no amount of meditating I can do or positive affirmations that will completely keep me from experiencing, you know, the ups and downs of life. Like, that's what I'm saying. No, I don't delude myself. I don't delude myself. I don't create unrealistic expectations and then get upset when everything doesn't go perfectly. Like, I'm a very open-minded person. I don't lie to myself. I do not, because I've done that for so long and it hasn't served me. It has not served me. When I've been more real about, you know, through living life and not being ignorant to the nature of life, I've actually came out better than just, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, they suffer because they're living in a false sense of reality. And a lot of this spiritual stuff, it teaches people, like, if you just think happy thoughts, you're going to experience, you know, everything's going to be good. You're not going to have any problems. And I'm like, I'm sorry. That has not been my reality. That has not been my experience. This is with thinking positive thoughts and positive affirmations and meditation. Like, yes, meditation is good. Affirmations are good. Positive reinforcement is good. The level of meditation is going to keep you from experiencing the positive and ups and downs of life. Like, I do not believe that at all. That is to me, that is ignorant, and that is, you know, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed. But pain is a part of life. Pain is a part of existence. You cannot avoid pain. I've trust me, I've tried. You're trying to avoid something that is just intertwined in the nature of reality. Like, existence didn't even come into being without very violent forces. And you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing peaceful about existence. Existence is very violent. Even nature is violent. There's little baby animals being eaten alive every day. Nature is not even peaceful. Nothing about existence is peaceful. There's peaceful states. There's moments of peace. There's times of peace. If you're really honest and just observe reality, let's just take out the human aspects. Like, animals, everyone likes to use nature as a reference. Like, there's nothing peaceful about nature. You know, there's beauty in nature. There's, you know, peaceful sunsets. There's, you know, the peaceful ocean. But nature is very violent and brutal. It's very easy to see. We create this illusion in our mind and we tell ourselves, oh, nature is so beautiful and peaceful. Like, yeah, it can be, but it's also very horrific as well. I mean, that's just facts. Pain won't be careful what you open your mind up to. And I mean, that's not opening my mind up to. That's a very basic observation. To me, it's just common sense. It's not me wanting to see bad. It's very obvious. It's not that I'm making it that way. It's just a part of life. I'm not saying that there's not beauty in life. I'm not saying that there's not times of peacefulness. I'm not saying that there's not peaceful things about existence, but it's just like the yin and yang. You know, both exist whether you acknowledge them or not. Like, whether I pay attention to the negativity, like, negative forces are going to still happen, whether I want it to or not, whether I think positive thoughts or not. Like, it's literally intertwined with reality itself. There's a yin and a yang for a reason. They are one in the same. God and devil are the same being, playing two different roles. I'm gonna make sure that the earth is paradise. I'm returning earth back to its original state. How are you gonna do that, Yahweh? I'm just curious. It'll be the new earth. Well, hey, good luck with that, man. I mean, I wish you all the best of luck. And listen, as a Jehovah's Witness, I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, so I know all about this belief, and you know, people believing that there's going to be a new earth, and I was born and raised a Jehovah's Witness, so I know all about this concept of the new paradise earth and the new earth. They call it paradise earth, right? I grew up on that belief system. I was a Jehovah's Witness until I was, 21, 22? So trust me, I know all about it. Yeah, I believe that these things exist. I believe that human beings evolve and certain things do activate. I believe in that. I mean, I believe in those things are real to a certain extent. Yeah, I believe in that. But I just feel like this is going to always be, again, these opposing forces of existence. You can call it dark and light. You can call it yin and yang. I'm not saying that, we can't have, times and, states of bliss in which you could call even heaven. I do believe there are heavenly states of being. What I'm saying is nothing lasts forever. That's what I'm basically saying. I'm saying nothing lasts forever. Well, I didn't say anything about comments, though, but okay. It's human awakening and DNA act via the universe. Hey, yo, I see comments all the time, bro. I see comments all the time. I used to see these green comments all the time. But out here, I see comments all the time. I'll be just looking out the window and I'll just see comments fall. It says you're confused about why comments are heading here. Amazing things will happen here soon. I've already had amazing things happen for me. I've had lots of paranormal things happen to me. So nothing surprises me. I have paranormal. I've had experiences where you probably wouldn't even believe me. Hell, I barely believe it. So I've seen lots of paranormal things. I've experienced paranormal things. I've experienced reality glitches. All kind of stuff. So I'm not ignorant to a lot of these types of things. I'm just saying, I don't box myself in this box labeled spirituality. I believe in some of the spirituality concepts. I just feel too, some of them are kind of, they're boxes too. I kind of feel like spirituality can be religious in a lot of ways, because you start to believe certain things and then those beliefs can literally make it true, I'm really careful about what I allow to become like my thought process and my beliefs about existence, you know? Maybe you're being prepared for the foundations of heavens are shaking and the stars fall. Uh, I mean, anything's possible, you know. Like I said, nothing really surprises me anymore. Like I've gone through a lot of things. I mean, there's still a lot of. I'm not saying I know it all or nothing like that. But I've experienced lots of strange things. So that's why, you know, I just feel like I'm more open minded, but I try not to be, you know, in a space where I think I know everything, because I know that I don't. But I've also seen a lot and experienced a lot of strange things to this day that I can't explain. And, you know, I just understand that reality is very, very strange. It's a very strange phenomenon. And it's really not something that you can really definitively understand, in my opinion. It's always something that's kind of always slipping away from you. And it's not ever truly, it's not really definable, you know. Reality is not definable. So, you know, yeah. You know, it's something that I can't even really put into words. It's for one thing, I understand that it's all subjective too, you know. So just because I say that I see it this way, somebody else can see it completely different, and it could literally be that way because that's how they see it and believe it to be. See, I can say that I feel the way I feel and see and perceive reality. Also still be aware that somebody else may be experiencing reality completely different than me and see something completely different, because that's the nature of it. So because they see it differently, it is different for them. Like that's the paradox. Like, you know, I'm not saying that the way I see it is necessarily the way that it is. What I'm saying is it's basically subjective, and that is the nature of it. And there's no way really to be certain, like, you know, it's this way or that way. It's kind of all, it's all kinds of ways and no way, you know, at the same time. So, but I just feel like it's impossible for us to truly know anything outside of our experience. You know, like I can't know, you know, nature, existence outside of anything but from my own personal subjective experience of my experience. Outside of my experience, I have no way of knowing, you know, anything about life in reality outside of my personal subjective experience. And for you, it's the same thing. So you can't expect me to understand your way of seeing things outside of me not experiencing your life from your eyes subjectively. You know what I'm saying? You can try to explain it to me. You can, and I can try to explain my version of my experience to you, but you're never going to fully understand why I believe what I believe and why I see things the way I do, because you haven't lived my life. So you can't possibly understand my lens of, you know, perception subjectively, you know? So there's that dynamic going on too. It's all dealing with each individual, you know, experience. You know, this is not a one size fits all thing. I think we forget that too. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'm just when I be talking sometime I be looking up at the moon, because the moon's like right here in front of me. So I was like staring at it and talking at the same time. It says you want your truth about what humanity is, you'll get your truth. I kind of know what humanity is already. Humanity is an illusion. They're a projection. They're not real. Yep, more and more. Can you slow down? I don't think you understand in the slightest that this is a DNA biospeak. What do you mean by that? What's the DNA biospeak? Or bio, you mean biosphere or something? Yeah, if you mind elaborate. It's a lot happening worldwide. It's a whole lot happening worldwide. I know that much. It's a whole lot going on. Human speech is no longer primarily communication. I mean, yeah, I guess I can kind of agree with that. I mean, it's my primary communication still, but I can kind of get what you're saying though. Biospeak. What is a biospeak? If you don't mind explaining, please. And what is a light lockdown? There are very major things happening as people are not being made aware. Well, what's happening? Tell me. I want to know. What's happening? Like, fill me in. Give me the 411. Give me the tea. Give me the tea. Give me the tea. I'm about to do my other patrol here. Yes, 333. 333. All right. Biospeak is a biological filter bypass where all organisms who are determined valuable are interconnected. Hypothetically, all organisms of non-value are not part of the biospeak systems. Well, okay, so who determines if they're valuable or not? Oh shoot, I'm gonna turn this on. Let's see. Finish. Sorry, y'all. I'm doing my my report here on my phone. Right. Yeah, who determines if you're valuable in the biospeak or not? Let me see. Sorry, I had to finish up this report real quick. All right. All right. So we're good. But yeah, okay. So, again, you should read the books of old. I mean, the ancient texts. I've read the Book of the Dead. I've read that. Well, I've listened to the audiobooks. I'm not a big reader more. So, I mean, I read some, but just because I don't really have lots of time to sit and read, like I said, I have books. I don't read as much as I used to, but I like to listen to like audiobooks a lot more now these days because to me it's more convenient and it's just, and I feel like I take it in more when I listen to it, generally speaking. So, yeah, but a lot of these ancient books they have in audio form now. So, like for example, like I'll be walking around outside or I'll be at work at my second job and I will, I'll be making t-shirts, designs and listening to
audio books of like the Book of the Dead and the Tibetan Book of the Dead, or some other shit. To me, I take in information better that way sometimes than just reading words. So you should understand that those who haven't obeyed the universe have no idea what they initiated. Their intentions triggered a light code lockdown. Universal protocol. This is universal law separate from. They broke every. I mean, I'm my own person. I know of these somewhat of certain things, but that's why I say a lot of these spiritual, beliefs. I understand what they're saying, but I don't attach myself to any one belief system. A lot of stuff about the new earth and stuff like that. I believe it, but only in a certain type of way. Nobody knows your heart the way that you do. So nobody, in other words, people can't tell me about me. They can only tell me about what they think about me. You know what I'm saying? Like how somebody feels about you does not determine where you're going to go in your afterlife. Like because someone feels a certain way about you does not mean that determines where you go. It just means that they personally feel that way. It doesn't mean that God and the universe feels that way. I don't let people put their emotions and their judgments on me as if that's my reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very careful about what I allow people to convince me to believe about myself, So, is it possible? Yeah, sure. I mean, but does it determine, my fate? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. That's why the earth has to be made new. So we have to evolve as humanity to grow and be new. That's why I say like everybody's, like I said, everybody's lens of perception is different. So, that's why I always, my frame of reference for everything, it begins and ends with me, not with what someone thinks about me. Like what someone thinks about me has absolutely nothing to do with my reality, my existence, So it's like, whatever someone thinks, that's, that's their problem, not mine. There's a lot of people today that believe that the world is ending. And, I'm like, I'm good. My world's not ending. I'm still figuring life out, but the world is not ending for me. So like people are literally losing their minds right now. But I'm like, I'm good. No, we are one. There's many like me. That's what's up. I feel you. Like I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I do believe in oneness, but I believe that's the ultimate state, or that's the ultimate reality. I have experienced oneness. I have times where I merge back with God naturally, and through techniques and meditation, I've done all that stuff. Sometimes by accident, sometimes through psychedelics. I know all about that. This is what I'm saying. Like I can't let somebody tell me what it is and how it works. I believe that all these things are possible, but the moment you let somebody tell you how it is, and then you just take that. I live in the present and try to make every decision from right now, you know, in a conscious way, instead of saying, well, damn, you know, they said that, you know, the earth's going to end tomorrow, and if I'm angry tomorrow, I'm going to be on a negative plane of existence because I had a bad day. I'm like, no, I just had a bad day and I'll figure it out. If I die when I'm in a bad mood, then I'll just figure it out on the other side. I don't think that I'm fucked, you know? Because I'm still right here, right now, and I can always change my mind and create a completely different reality right now. Even if I'm on some supposed lower plane and lower existence, on some, you know, I don't know, negative earth or something, I can always right now say, well, you know what, I'm going to feel good right now. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you can never stay in the wrong place. I don't believe that's very limiting to me. Nobody gets to decide but you. You do realize genes constantly charge or change? Oh, of course. I live in the present but grow for the future. I mean, yeah, idealistically, but like, is there really a future though? Aren't the future and the present and the past kind of all the same thing? This same present moment. See, a future is subjective. You know, a future is a concept. You know, like the future, when you get there, you'll still be right here and right now. You know, we're not going anywhere. There's no future to get to. We are in the future, in the past, right now. So that's why I feel like the present is the best place to be, and making every decision based off of right now and what I want right now. Like, the future is manifested from everything I'm doing right now. So, I mean, your fear shouldn't be the end of the world. Your fear should be those things, those beings live in the darkness beneath the earth. I mean, I'll put it like this. I will say this. See, I look at it like this. Okay, this may kind of lose you. I don't know, but I look at reality in different ways. So I recognize that I have different versions of myself that exist, right? I don't know if you understand or are aware of the multiverse theory or concept, where there's all these different versions of ourselves, right? So for me, there's infinite versions of myself, right? That are completely different, that are completely, you know, there's versions of myself that are, you know, super, super happy, super sad, super depressed, angry. I don't attach to any one version of myself. To me, I accept, I understand, and I realize that I am all of these versions simultaneously, and I can tap into them at any point in time. So whether you want to call them frequencies or, you know, lower vibration, other dimensions, they're all other versions of my infinite self. So the fact that I don't attach myself to the positive or the negative side or the negative version or the really any version, I simultaneously am all of them and none of them. So therefore, I'm not bound to any one particular version or level of reality. I'm all of them. Again, that's what I'm saying. I don't limit myself to just being positive or, you know, or just being negative. Like, I let myself experience every version of myself freely and without judgment. when you judge one particular version of yourself, you become that version. You limit yourself to that version, and then you embody that version. I don't bind myself to any one version of myself. I'm all of them and none of them. So none of them have any power over me. I let them all freely and equally exist. So I don't have to become bound or trapped in anger or, get disappointed when I can't be happy all the time, because I'm not any of them. So that's how I see all of these realities and versions of myself. Those are, yeah. See a person in public spaces, and y'all weren't meant to pass each other in one timeline. It creates a whole new timeline. It doesn't have to, though. You can just simply say, well, whatever, and continue on your path that you want to go on. It doesn't have to mean anything if you don't make it mean something. Like, there's been people that have told me that, after I left my religion, I was going to have, nothing but pain and misery. And have I experienced some pain and misery? Yeah. But it wasn't the end of the world. I didn't let somebody tell me, oh, I'm going to go to hell because I left my religion. Like, in many ways, I'm doing better than some of those people in that very religion. And I've evolved in many ways past them from that religion. It's not a competition, but I didn't let somebody speak over me something because they felt that way. You know what I'm saying? It's there were people that told me that God was basically going to smite me because I left my religion. I'm like, well, I don't believe that. I had not arrived at that conclusion, So I don't get trapped in any belief system. I take from them, what I believe and what makes sense to me, but I don't bind myself to any one belief or box of belief systems. It's, it's what conclusion have I come to? What do I believe at this point in time, or at this, where I'm at right now in my awareness? So, you haven't blasphemed God or Yeshua. I mean, some people might say I have, depending on who you ask. But I don't feel like I have. No, I have been, depending on like what stage in my life or journey I've been in, I have had times where, depending on how I perceive God, I was mad at God, or the concept of God, or what I believe God to be at that time. But I can't say that I just, I blasphemed against existence itself. Sometimes I do feel like it's very, what's the word? I do have times where I feel like existence is meaningless and pointless. Like it's a problem sometimes. I have times where I feel that way just because of certain experiences and the struggles that I have as a human being. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I do. But then I also come back to seeing the beauty and the miracle of life too. See, it's this paradox thing, it's this constant contradiction, because existence is both kind of a miracle and a tragedy at the same time. It's beautiful and it's very tragic in a lot of ways. So, but yes, I do have times like that where I do feel like that. I do feel miserable sometimes. I do feel miserable some days, you know. I'm not going to say I don't. I do feel like that. I mean, sometimes I just get stressed out, you know. But it comes and it goes, you know. That's why I said nothing in the universe is constant. Nothing is, you know, lasts forever. You know, I have days I felt very miserable before. When I've gotten my heart broken, yes, I had a time, there was a time where I, you know, felt horrible. You know, when I got cheated on, I felt miserable. I was hurt. That's a form of misery. But that's also a part of life, though. Those things happen. You can't avoid them. You know, we try to make the right decisions when it comes to our, you know, romantic partner, but you can still choose wrong. You know, or we try to avoid the wrong types of women or romantic partners. It still happens. You're too nice to be true. Miserable. No, trust me, I've definitely felt miserable. To me, the idea of some other guy banging your girlfriend when you still have love and emotions connected to her, and the fact that, you know, she doesn't care, I would describe that as being miserable, you know? Let's see, what does misery mean? Hold on. What is the definition of misery? Let's see. All right, my bad. So I just looked up the definition of misery. It says the state of being in great distress or discomfort. It says mind or body. So yeah, I've definitely experienced that. Where my mind was discomfort, I was in discomfort in my mind. In my body, I felt discomfort in my body just based off of what was going on and how it was making me feel. You know, I think that happens a lot. I think it's a very common thing. People just label people miserable. Like it's a very common thing to be in states like that when just things happen in life that we can't control, you know? So yeah, I've definitely felt like that. No, I didn't say that. I've said that those things have happened and I felt them. You know, I didn't say I like it. I said they've happened. No, I'm not miserable most of the time. I'm miserable sometimes. I mean, I have moments, I have days where I am miserable based off of memories and things that have happened, if I'm being honest. You know, but I'm not in a constant state of misery, you know, but I have days, I have times where I have misery. I have experiences that, you know, that have happened, that I've went through, and they haven't necessarily gone away. You know, I don't think they ever will. Certain experiences, when I think about them, I do still feel miserable. Yeah. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, why lie about it? See, I don't judge myself the way other people do. I just see it for what it is and say, yeah, that's what it is. And, you know, I don't overthink it. I'm like, that's what it is. And that's what it is. You know? What experiences bother you the most? I mean, man, it's actually a lot. I mean, I mean, the same experiences that bother other people, you know, romantic experiences, just, you know, the world can be cruel and unforgiving, you know, stuff like that. Just being betrayed by people that I thought I could trust. Those types of things, they don't really go away. And I think that once certain things happen, once you go through certain things, you're never the same person again. And those memories, you know, I'll put it like this. I'm never going to be the same person that I was before I went through certain things, you know, ever. I cannot go back to that innocent version of myself that I was before I went through very traumatizing things. You know, I've tried, no matter how much, you know, I meditate or, you know, how spiritual I claim to be. Like, there's versions of yourself that you will never get back to because you'll never see things the same again. Whenever you get a new perspective, there's a moon. Whenever you get a new perspective, like it's impossible to go back to a version of yourself that you used to be before you had that, you know, expanded awareness or perspective of life, of people, relationships, love, and whatever else. You cannot go back to seeing things the same. So in a way, it's both a gift and a curse. Like, I will never look at dating the same ever again. I will never look at women the same ever again. You know, now I'm not trying to say that I look at them as only bad now, but there's a version of myself that was way more innocent and ignorant to a lot of things about dating and women that I didn't know then what I know now. Had I known then what I know now, I would have done things completely different, you know, but I didn't know. So because I didn't know, I had to go through certain things and experience certain traumas that allowed me to know what I know now. Had I not gone through those things, then I wouldn't know what I know now. So now that I know what I know now, I'm a completely different version of myself than what I was then, if that makes sense. I used to feel the same way. I used to hate everything I enjoyed until I realized it was just people purposely gaining my trust to ruin versions of me that were my complete self. Hey, did you send me an Instagram request the other day? Or I mean, it was like a week ago, I think. I think you like sent me like a comment or something like that. I think you you commented on the video. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got an Instagram. I don't know how I'll give it to you. It's Infinite 5891. I'll have to look at it and see. Just give me a second. When I get back into the guard check, I'll give it to you. But yeah, I got one though. I got two pages. I got two Instagram pages. But the main one that I use is Infinite 5891. So yeah, you said I used to feel the same way. I used to hate everything I enjoyed until I realized it was just people purposely gaining my trust to ruin versions of me that were my complete self. What is your complete self? Or what do you consider your complete self?
And why did you hate it? And why did you allow someone to what made you feel like you should hate it based off of what somebody else was doing or saying? Well, I don't think we have a choice in whether we get to receive trauma or not. I don't think we have a choice. Like, I can't say, oh, universe, don't send me trauma. Like, it just kind of happens. Like, I don't think anybody asks for it. You know, I can't say, hey, God, don't send me, you know what I'm saying? We don't get a choice. And honestly, I don't think that we have a choice if we get to choose whether it keeps affecting us or not. You know, it's just like, it happened, it's there, it's probably not going to go away. You know, I don't think we have a choice in that. How can I say that? Because if we did have a choice, it wouldn't be in my mind still. You know, and I don't care how much shadow work you do. I don't care how much meditation you do. You know, to me, those things help you to understand it better or see it for what it is. But I don't believe that it makes it go away. That's where my opinion differs from most spiritual people and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, you can do shadow work and meditate and sit with yourself and understand your trauma. But just because you understand it and you see it and it doesn't mean that it goes away magically. It just means that you know where it comes from. You know what it is. And it's like, now you know, but it's still there. Like, it doesn't make it go away. But again, I don't have to identify with myself with that traumatic version of myself. I say, hey, there's versions of myself that relate to this trauma, but I don't just limit myself to that version of me that's traumatized. I'm also an infinite number of other versions of myself outside of just that one version of myself that is capable of more and infinite other possibilities of potential than just being hurt. Like, am I hurt? Sure, I'm hurt in many ways still, but I'm not just a hurt person. I'm infinite variations of that outside of that small sliver or spectrum of that one version of myself. If I just completely identified with being traumatized, then yeah, that would suck. But I don't just identify with just that. I identify with all the other versions of myself that exist. But I can't deny the fact that there's a part of me that is still very hurt. It exists. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I can't lie about it, you know? We do have a choice. If I hadn't been dumb and kind of egotistical, I literally wouldn't have had trauma. I mean, I don't agree with that. I don't think we have a choice with trauma. You know, I disagree. Because I don't think anybody would choose to traumatic things if they had the choice, you know. There's no way I would choose to go through a lot of the things that I went through if I could have not went through it, you know. But it did happen, though. You still have to be able to treat and feel as if it never happened, to be innocent of both. Understanding. Presently, the one friend that I did have, you know, was my girl. I have friends, but I haven't talked to them in a long time. I moved away. So as of right now, no. Most of my friends have been connected to the girls I dated, and a lot of friends I had that were guys, they moved away, and they were in high school,
and I'm not around them. So, but no, I don't really have any friends, I can say. No, not lately. Not for a while now. But, yeah. Like I said, I haven't really had time to really hang out like that. I get along with guys, but like I said, I'm not really around a lot of guys like that, because again, they're either I moved away and they're doing their own thing. So, and the girls I used to hang out with that I wasn't dating, I don't like when I'm hanging out with some girls because they have this weird thing they do where you're not dating, but they kind of act like you're dating and they expect you to do things like you're dating, but you're not. And it's kind of annoying to me. It's like, if we're just friends, like, we're just friends. Like, I'm not your boyfriend. Like, don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just weird friend zone sometimes where women that are purely platonic, they try to do this weird thing where they try to get you to do boyfriend shit. And I'm like, I'm not your boyfriend though, So I don't really like to hang out with women like that typically because stuff like that is kind of annoying to me. But I've had girlfriends that were just friends, but it was kind of annoying to me. To me, I'd rather hang out with guys and, I don't know, play basketball or, I don't know, do guy stuff, go to the gym, work out together, get in shape together. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I honestly, like, I think part of my problem right now is, if I'm being honest, I just, my job is easy, but I just feel like I need more time to myself. When I was working less, my stress levels were going down, but now I'm only getting like 1 day off a week. So, and that 1 day feels like no days off. So, I'm just trying to adjust to that, but it definitely is different. Like, I know some people have it a lot harder, but, because when I was off more days, like I used to go to the skate park, I used to I felt better, I felt better, but, I'm not going to complain, I got a job that's easy and, I guess technically I don't have to have two jobs, but I'm trying to keep these two jobs right now to accomplish certain things. So my jobs are very easy, so I can't complain, I'm just saying. Okay. 14. But yeah, honestly, like, if I want to like relieve stress right now, like, typically I just roll a blunt. That's my, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't smoked in like a long time, but today, like, I was just in a very stressful mood, and I don't even really smoke like blunts anymore, but I was like, you know what? And as soon as I had a blunt, like, felt so good. Like, I felt like all the anxiety just melted away. Like, it was just going instantly. And this is what people don't understand, like, about people that smoke. Like, I don't smoke just as a habit. Like, I literally use it to medicate. Like, and I don't smoke every day, all day. Like, it literally is something that I use to, like, relieve anxiety. And I don't even smoke that much anymore. But when I do, it's like, okay, well, I've been anxious for like 3 days straight now. Let me just, you know what I'm saying? and then I put it down and leave it alone for a while, and that's it. So today was one of those kind of days where I was just, anxious, and I felt better. I felt good. So, have you ever tried frequencies, light, color, dark moon meditation, humming to yourself, writing to yourself? Well, I talk to myself a whole lot. I talk to myself probably way more than what I should. But believe it or not, that actually, when I talk to myself, when no one's listening, when no one's around, I be spitting like some of the most craziest like wisdom to myself. Like, I'm like, did I just say that? Like, that's really good advice. But whenever I have these conversations with myself, like, nobody hears these because it's I feel like it's me, but it's not me. It's like a more wise version of myself that is outside of my ego and outside of, that version of myself that tells me what I want to hear. It kind of tells me what I need to hear, the real. So I have those kind of conversations with myself all the time, but no, I'm not typically a writer. I can't say that I am. Now I do want to get back into making music, and I want to learn how to add frequencies into a certain style of music or mixing music, like DJing. I want to learn how to do that. I got a laptop now, so soon I'll be probably getting like Serato and using that to get back into mixing tracks and learning how to add frequencies to really cool, sequences and songs and stuff like that. But I'm into lights. I don't necessarily use light as therapy, but I understand the concept of it. I understand that certain lights or certain spectrums of lighting can affect your mood, Like green, I think is good for your heart, and the red is good for, I forget, like your nervous system or something like that. They say that blue lights can be not good for like your circadian rhythm or something. I don't know. It can keep you up at night. But it's like a whole list of frequencies that each color is supposedly associated with. And like I said, I look into stuff like that pretty often. I just can't tell you off the top of my head because I look at a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff floating around in my head. And but it's there. I just have to think about it, A lot of stuff I know, but like when it comes to just like blurting it out like on spot, I can't necessarily think of it right now, but I know it's there. It's just there in a different way in my mind, Like I know a lot of shit, I just can't be like A plus pi squared equals, but it's it's there. Because when I be just by myself, I'll be just knowing stuff that I really shouldn't know, but I'll be just knowing stuff. Different people, minds work differently, We take in information and we tap into that information in different ways. Like I feel like I tap into information like that in a more subconscious way than a conscious way, because when I'm not like trying to like get the information, if that makes sense. Okay, let's end this. Being in a dark room, yes, it's good to avoid screens. I like making all different types of music and knowing how to use frequencies and do emotion in music.
Have you ever? Okay, yeah, I read that one already. Being in a dark room, meditation for a day can literally cause your brain to fill up with certain chemicals. So when you do what you want the next day, it feels so much better. Yeah, well, yeah, I believe that. I now I sleep with blindfolders on. I literally just bought a new pair of eye shades to so because I work third shift, when I get off, I only have about maybe an hour or two of nighttime left. So I have to completely block out the light so that my body can, get the best thing to natural sleep that I can and release, melatonin. So I literally have to wear eye blockers to get a somewhat decent rest during the day because my body doesn't get to sleep in complete darkness. Um, so, um, and I don't want to keep taking synthetic melatonin because it's not natural. So I had to stop that. I take valerian root and like sleep tea that has valerian root and lemon balm in it, and that definitely has been helping out. But I want my body to be able to fall asleep naturally by itself. So I'm trying my best to stay as close to the natural, circadian rhythm as possible by just, getting my body to simulate being in a completely dark environment by using my eye shades. And it seems to be helping out. Um, let's see. It says, and I don't meditate. I just sometimes do what I don't want to do. Yeah, COVID masks were cool for eye covers. Oh, eye cover. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. When COVID was going on, I used to be joking around with that because to me, like the whole mask thing, I was like making that shit like a meme. I'm like, bro, like I can't take this mask shit serious. Like I'm like, there's no way you can tell me that this deadly disease is going to be like this mask is my one and only defense. Like once I seen that, like, none of the evidence, none of the stuff they were saying was holding up scientifically, even though they kept saying follow the science. I'm like, bro, like there's no way this mask is my one defense of surviving this zombie or this COVID apocalypse. I'm like, come on now, like if this shit was that serious, we should be wearing like hazmat suits or some shit. Like there's no way this one little mask where literally like microscopic droplets of shit can go through it. Like, come on now. Like I used to be capping on like that shit. I used to be like making jokes about it. I mean, I know it was sad because some people did die, but like I didn't take that shit nowhere near as seriously as everybody else. I'm like, bro, like, listen, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Like, like, come on, man. Like, I'm not about to sit here and be like scared. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's fucking COVID. Like, it's the end of the world. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, they tried to make me get a shot and everything. I was like, man, fuck y'all. I ain't getting that shit. They tried though. My job tried to. Let's see. Do you have proper comfort for sleep? What do you mean by that? What is proper comfort? What is that? I don't know what proper comfort is. I don't know. Proper pillows, blankets, body support. You know what? That's actually a good question. I was actually thinking about that. So I could probably actually improve on that because Recently, I've been just kind of adjusting my. I've been adjusting my sleeping position, but I'm going to actually look into getting a better quality of pillow that supports. Because right now, I basically just have a bunch of, a bunch of random pillows where I just kind of stack them together. But there's actually pillows that are kind of made for certain sleep positions. And so, yeah, I'm going to probably invest in a good sleeping pillow. I have like a bunch of pillows, but the way I'm sleeping, I probably could put more effort into getting a more, ideal sleep position or, you know, pillow situation. And I'm the type of person where I sleep better when my head's kind of elevated. Like if my head's low, I don't sleep that well. Um, so that could probably help because I'm looking into that right now. So yeah. Do I understand how to make myself comfortable? Um, uh, I mean, I try to be as comfortable as I can when I go to sleep, but I don't know if there's a proper. I don't. I mean, I've heard of different techniques, but my general idea is to try to be as calm as I can before I go to sleep. So, but I don't use any particular technique or anything, if that's what you mean. Sorry, like, all in my business. Uh, I'm just looking at I'm just getting closing out some of these windows. Uh, what'd you say? But no, I mean, I understand the concept. The concept is to basically be as calm as you can when going to sleep. Um, I know if I'm angry before I go to bed, that usually creates an experience where I usually have really negative dreams. So I try my best to be in a generally good mood when I go to sleep. But sometimes I do be having a lot on my mind. And I do feel like that has a lot to do with my inability to sleep. And I'm pretty sure it does. So, it's a real thing. Do you understand how to make yourself comfortable? I never check these things hardly. See, I watch stuff like this, y'all. I'll be like, look, I like this guy's channel a lot. He's like a van lifer. All right, we sent. Sometimes I like to listen to frequencies in a dark room with no light. The frequency is loud as my breath. This is breath. Sometimes I look at Instagram models or aesthetic images, natural low lighting before I do. Look at Instagram models. I don't know, man. Like I get tired. I like to see pretty girls, but I get kind of tired of seeing Instagram girls online all the time. It's like that's all you see. Like I like pretty girls, but I don't know. Like I just I don't know. I get tired of just it. Like to me, like when I see a girl all the time, like because me, like all you see is just like ass and titties, ass and titties, ass and titties. I'm like, okay, we get it. I think women that are like more modest to me is more attractive. Like to me, because it's like when you see it all the time, like it kind of loses its appeal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like when I see a woman that's not showing everything, like me personally, I find that more attractive than just seeing a woman that's like got her ass just all out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense. Sometimes, I mean, when you see something all the time, it just loses. It kind of loses its appeal. At least to me, it does. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like I was at the gas station one day, and I seen this girl or this woman, and she had a long dress on. And I don't know what it was about her having a long dress on. She wasn't showing nothing, but I just thought that was the most attractive thing ever. Like, again, because you see women nowadays, they're just showing everything. And it's like, I don't know. I can't explain it. Like, it's just, I don't know. Yeah. I hate this. I hate this OnlyFans, era that we live in. Because it's like, women forgot what it even means to be truly attractive in a feminine way. They think that to be the most attractive, they have to show everything. And I'm like, that's not really what it means to truly be attractive in a female feminine way. Like it's not what it really means. Like you can attract men, like good men, like women could attract so much better men for themselves if they didn't do that. Like they don't realize that because they've all been kind of brainwashed into believing that this is the only way to get male attention. It's like, no, you're attracting certain types of men when you do that, but you can't really tell the modern woman anything because she's just like, she thinks that you're trying to control her and tell her what to do with her body, and it's like, no, I'm not. But whatever. They don't understand that they're attracting a certain type of men and perpetuating the very same experiences and interactions with men that they claim that they don't want. There's one lady I watch and she is comforting with her videos. Yeah, I'm in jail, even like looking at some videos, people giving advice about self-love. What kind of video is it? Let me get my charger out. Hold on one second. Let me put this right here real quick. Look at the moon. All right, let me close this out. Give me 1 second. I'm just putting my last report in for tonight. Not recognized. Okay, let's see. Reports and logs. I watch Yahweh. I watched a few videos or people about self-love and protecting your own energy and light. Yeah, I watch stuff like that too. I mean, I think it comes down to just protecting your own self-awareness and, your perception of yourself. I think that's the biggest thing is, protecting your mind. There's so many things about this life and existence that can take you away from your own true sense of yourself. Everybody's trying to tell you who you are and who you're not, what you can and can't do. And I've got to the point to where I'm like, I'm not letting nobody tell me, no matter how convincing they may be, of who I am and what I am and what I can and can't do. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you're this and you're that. And it's like, I understand you feel that way, but I'm not going to just latch on to your perception of me because you really believe that you know who I am as a person. It's like, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but I don't have to agree with you. You know, we can just agree to just simply not agree. You know, there's so much of that going on. And unfortunately, there's a lot of that going on in the spiritual community, which is why I kind of backed off from a lot of this spiritual stuff. Even though I still identify with some of it, I also realize that there's a lot of there's just a lot of projecting and, you know, what's the word? Hypocrisy in spirituality in that community in general. There's truth in it too, but there's a lot of hypocrisy. You know, I've just come to that awareness. It's a lot of hypocrisy in the spiritual community or movement, whatever you want to call it, spiritual realm. You know, so you also need to protect your body and life, your mind, even your devices from other people. Yeah, sure, I can believe. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I do. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I see so much stuff online that when I see it, it makes me feel like angry or triggered, you know, and I'm becoming more and more aware of that. So I'm just being careful, especially on social media. Like, I just see a lot, like, for example, like, there's this guy that walks around and just does really obnoxious stuff. Like, it'll be like a man with his wife and kids, and he'll walk. And I mean, some of it is just, it's staged, but some of it isn't. But just walking up and just grabbing a complete a woman's hand when she is with her husband and kid. Like, it's like, dude, if you do that to the wrong person, you're going to catch a body. You're going to get bodied. Like, everybody ain't with that joking stuff, you know. A lot of these, you know, YNs are doing this shit, you know, and they be like, oh, it's a prank, it's a prank. Like, no, like, that shit is not a prank. That shit's disrespectful as fuck. Who does that? You know, like, stuff like that is just, I find that very triggering and just disrespectful. Like, why would you do that? It's not a joke. It's not funny in any way, shape, or form. Like, stop playing with me. You know, it's just, people just do stupid shit and this all kind of stuff like that. You know, it's just, I don't like seeing that kind of stuff. It's just, it's stupid. You also need to protect your, okay, I read that. I feel like people try to put their own perception or expectations of people onto other people because they feel as if that person is too bright. I feel it's people trying to. I mean, that could be possible. Yeah. I don't have very high. One thing I've learned is I used to have high expectations for people, but my expectations for most people nowadays are just extremely low. My standard is still high, but my expectation is low. Most people, I've come to realize, you know, will never meet my expectation. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm not even going to give you that much credit because you have not given me any reason to believe that you're capable of me having this high expectation of you. You have not given me any reason to believe that. So why would I believe that? I'm just deluding myself. Yes, same. I block a lot of dumb pages of people, or I just click not interested, etc. I also mute most social medias while scrolling so the sound can't annoy me. Yeah, yeah, I need to start doing that probably. Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff I see just makes me feel not great. I'll tell you on that. I'm not even mad about that. That's true. I mean, like it's a lot of things that I just see and like why, and it's like all over your timeline. It's like I'm like I don't look at these. And have you ever had like people just like being added by themselves onto like your following page or like your friends? Like, I don't know how that keeps happening, but people keep getting added that I didn't add. And it's like, OnlyFans models and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not adding these women. I don't know how they're getting added onto my timeline. And like they'll be like messaging me, like trying to get me to come to their OF page. And I'm just like, I don't want to, like, I don't do that. I don't do that OnlyFans stuff. Like, I'm not going to sit there and watch you tease me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people are into that, it's fine. But I've never been into that type of thing. I feel like that's a hustle. And I feel like men that do that are very, okay, I'm not going to say they're pathetic, but I feel like it's, as a man, like, that's not something you should be doing. I feel like men that do that, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole different conversation, but I don't have a lot of respect for men that, you know, are into like OnlyFans and pay into stuff like that. But whatever. Do what you do. Your hustle, I don't know. Also, don't scroll too much. I find stuff that can help you distract and grow. And yes, I've had lots of people get added to my stuff. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even add this person. Like, it's annoying. Like, and like, I don't really care until they start messaging me. But I've had like OF girls like message me, like different ones message me numerous times, trying to like get me to come. Like they'll start out by like just acting like they're trying to like have a conversation, and then like they'll send me like their link to like their page. I'm like, bro, I don't want to go to your OnlyFans page, bro. I don't care about that. Like, yes, you're cute, but I don't care. I'm not gonna waste my money watching you play with your ass on camera. Like, I don't. That shit's lame as fuck to me. I'm sorry, it just is. I mean, I just can't. Also, okay, I already read that one. Let's see. I can't do it. I can't do it. A lot of women, they get paid a lot of money doing that. And then like they turn back around and talk shit about the same dudes just giving them their money. That's part of the reason why I don't believe in it, because these same women will talk about the guys and call them pathetic losers that are sitting there giving them money and attention. I'm like, dude, do you not realize these same women are like laughing at you and calling you lame and calling you a simp behind your back when you're not simping on camera for them? It's like, dude, like, have some self-respect. Like, you don't think you deserve to use that money that you work for more wisely or more intelligently than investing in some woman that doesn't even know who you are personally, has no intention of sleeping with you in real life, and just gets off on or just gets entertained by teasing you sexually? You don't think that's a waste of your energy? Man, like, why? There's so many other things you can do with your money that you actually work for than just pretty much just, you know what I'm saying, squander it on some stranger on the internet. But whatever. Two semi trucks on other side of building parked. Okay. Yeah, I'm just doing my past damn reports real quick. And we're done. Yeah, but yeah, so it's a real thing. Let me see. But yeah, I mean, to each his own. To each his own. I don't really, I don't know what really, people get out of that, but whatever. Also, don't. Oh, I think I already read that. So, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do for like fun to, or what do you do outside of Instagram models to help you sleep? I listen to. Oh, you just asked me the same question. What do I do for fun? Well, mainly like right now, I'm kind of into learning how to stunt ride. Um, and I like to skateboard when I have time to, which I used to go like every weekend, but my schedule changed, so I haven't been in a while. I'm gonna try to get back out this Saturday or this Sunday though. So like skateboarding, I like going to the movies. I like playing video games, even though I haven't played in a while. Um, but yeah, I like games. I like watching movies. Um, I like going to the actual movies. I like trying new restaurants, like hiking, riding my motorcycle. I'm trying to learn how to do wheelies right now, but I'm working my way up to it because if you don't get so many chances to fuck up on a full size motorcycle, but I'm into that. I want to get into track riding soon, but I want to get a second bike first. So basically, like movies, motorcycles, stunt riding, video games. And I'm also trying to get back into making music, like DJing, like mixing music, learning how to mix tracks and stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. I like nature. I like going to the park. I like walking through the forest. You know, I like amusement parks as well. I like going to amusement parks. I just like trying new things in general. I'm being honest. Like I just like trying different things, anything new, anything exciting. But those are the main things, though. Yep. What about you? What do you do for fun? I like. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Man. Oh shit. Uh, I like studying, learning, watching movies, reading music, video editing, speech, a lot of stuff. I enjoy being in nature if it's nice outside. Good deal. Yeah, that's chill. Yeah. Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. Like I'm like when I'm I mean, because when I'm at home, like when I get home, like I can't go straight to sleep. I have to be up like at least like an hour or two. So when I get home, I normally will watch something or get on YouTube or something. I'll drink my sleep tea and then give it time to kind of get into my system. And then within an hour or two, I'm ready to go to sleep typically. But I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Like I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook a lot because I'm just bored sometimes. I don't really have a life outside of work. But yeah, I'm on social media a lot. And I try to like work on my clothing brand and some too, which I don't know. I kind of get stuck on that because Chat GPT is like kind of hit and miss. But yeah. I like to watch videos too, and like watch Netflix, Hulu. I got like this package thing with my phone service where I get like Disney, Hulu, ESPN. It's all included in my internet and phone service. And then I got Prime, Amazon Prime, and there's like a lot of like weird movies on there about consciousness and stuff like that. I love watching stuff like that. So yeah, man, I love watching movies and videos and stuff. Do you like specific? Yeah, I like sci-fi. I like anything dealing with like spirituality or you know stuff that makes you think about nature of reality. Anything like that? Yeah, I like that. Like I look for stuff like that. Like I don't like I don't like comedy that much. I'll watch it, but typically I'm into like like I said, spirituality, like anything dealing with like the nature of reality or you know metaphysics or stuff. Like I watch stuff like that, shows or movies. Like I watched this show called Dark, and I watched it a long time ago, but it was about this guy that found this portal into another universe where he was able to go back and forth in time and basically experience different timelines by simply walking through this tunnel that took him to this machine, and it basically just allowed him to experience different parallel universes by simply walking through this tunnel. Like I like stuff like that, biology and space. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, exactly. I like stuff about the subconscious and physics. Yeah, like I watch. That's the main type of stuff that I watch, and I find lots of truth and stuff like that. Like it's so many different little stuff that they put in these movies and shows, which I be like, people don't realize how much truth they put in movies and shows. It's crazy because when I see certain things, I hear certain things on like these movies and on these shows, I'll be like, yeah, like they're telling people in their faces about a lot of stuff, but everybody don't realize when they watch certain like there's things I've watched in the past that I watch it now after I've kind of reached a different, I guess you can call it, level of consciousness. I watch stuff now that I've seen a long time ago, and I get a completely different understanding of it based off of how I see things now. I'm like, wow, I never looked at that way. I never understood when I've seen this all the way back when that they were talking about something else. It's crazy all the hidden symbols they have in a lot of these shows and movies, and it's just crazy. It's subconscious. They put it in there, they slip it in there, or they'll have like a bunch of like, background shit in the background. Like there's so much like esoteric symbolism in cartoons that I didn't even realize like was in cartoons until like I kind of started looking into like, like even like Messianic symbols and stuff like that. A lot of that symbolism is in like children's cartoons. I'm talking about like the old cartoons. Like the old cartoons were really, really putting it in there. You just didn't realize it. I'm like, wow, I never realized that. It's an all-seeing eye, like literally in the background of this child's cartoon. Like stuff like The Simpsons, and I mean, it's like all throughout the cartoons. Like it's everywhere. But I never noticed it until like I noticed it, I like, okay, I already read that. Lots of movies are for the military industrial complex. It's hypothetically for lots of people who need to be updated on certain things. Yeah. Yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that. I can believe that. Yeah, it's a lot of and there's also like subliminal like messages in news broadcast and music too. You know, I watched this one video online where it talked about, or it showed rather, there was hidden words going across the screen when you slowed it down. When they slowed the image down, it said something about worship the government or something like that. It was like a national anthem or something like that. But it wasn't until you slowed it down, you seen it flash across the screen in a really, really quick way. And it was literally like words that went across the screen that basically was telling the viewer that, the government is your God, to worship the government or some shit like that. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. It's crazy. This is why, the government has its place, but I don't worship the government like other people do. Even when they was telling people to, take the shot and stuff like that, I'm like, y'all can do that. Like, I'm not doing that. Do what you want to do, to each his own, but I'm like, nah, I ain't doing it. My mother tried to get me to do it. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Anytime you got somebody telling you that, something could possibly give you a heart attack or a stroke or an aneurysm by taking it, like, yeah, I'm good. And then if something happens, they're free from any liability legally. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. My job right here, not this place, but this same company, they tried to fire me for that shit. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I gotta find a job then. Fuck that shit. You ain't gonna tell me what I'm gonna put in my body. You got me all the way fucked up. Like, they sure the fuck did. Like, they literally, I was at work and they were like, you gotta take this shot. I was like, well, I was like, nah, actually I don't have to take it. And then they was like, well, if you don't take it, you have to leave. I said, okay, well, cool. I got up and I left. And the next day, I got a call and they was like, well, the company said you don't have to take it because something about the amount of employees or something like that. They didn't make it, but they were trying to tell me I had to take it at first, and they fired me. And I was like, well, whatever, okay, cool. I'll find something. I don't care if it's fucking McDonald's. I'll find something. I'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, both of my jobs were at one point trying to make me get the shot, but I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need it. I was like, I don't feel sick. I had something, but it went away. I'm good now. Like, I'm not taking it. I don't want it. I don't need it. I trust my immune system. I believe my immune system is strong enough to fight it off. And if it's not, then I'll just die. Because I trust my own operating system more than I trust that. And I went with that, and I was like, hey, that's just what it was. Do I know ID 2020? I've heard of it. Yeah, I know they're trying to make people get the RFID chips and stuff like that. They're trying to do that. And I also heard that they're trying to put the vaccines in the food and stuff like that. I also heard that there's supposed to be some type of new patch they got out, or they're coming out with, where they're trying to basically pretty much put the vaccine in they doing all kind of crazy shit now. They going ham. They doing a whole lot of stuff. They got the RFID chips, and then they're trying to come out with a lot of these, vaccines that people give themselves. I mean, it's crazy. You got people giving themselves this shit, but it's like, hey, do you? If you like it, I love it. If you good with it, hey, do you? I don't judge nobody, but hey, if you like it, I love it. If that's what you want to do, hey, do you? Just don't expect me to do that bullshit. That's all I'm saying. I'll tell me in a heartbeat. I will fucking, I don't even know. I will, you know what I'm saying, do whatever I have to do. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people that you threaten with losing my job. Oh, well, you can't do this. Well, I guess I'm be on the side of the road living in a tent. You know what I'm saying? I've been homeless before. I'm not afraid to be homeless. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a whole lot of bills to where if I lose my job, like, I'm just fucked up. This is why I like not having a lot of bills, you know? My vehicles are paid off. Like, I don't have a lot to lose if I lose income. Like, I can lose my income and I'll be fine, you know. So, but yeah, you know, and that was a crazy time. Like, the whole COVID thing, and I'm like, I still can't believe that shit when that happened. Like, we all just kind of moved on with life. Like, you know, that didn't just happen. Like, even like now, I'll be thinking about it sometimes. I'm like, there was literally people getting inside of pools with masks on. Like y'all really believe that these masks are going to say? There were people literally getting inside of pools with masks on. There were people, like, they had a, you know, remember like the little plastic things they had at the register? Like, so y'all really believe that this plastic thing is going to protect y'all from all of the COVID particles in the air? Like, hey, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you believe. Oh man, I'll be joking about that shit sometimes. I'm like, that shit had me. Yo, they was tripping. They was tripping. For real. Yeah, I'm like, y'all got that. Then they had the hand sanitizer. You had to use the hand sanitizer everywhere you went. They had a shortage of hand sanitizer. Look, they got so bad. They had to make their own hand sanitizer. I was like, man, like, come on, man. Like, it was crazy. I remember where I was working at, it was like, you know, spraying down the desk and everything. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, bro. I'm like, if this shit was really that serious, like, you know, like, I'm not like, listen, people were dying from it, but I'm like, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. And listen, I was literally working at the health department, doing overtime outside of my regular job when all that shit was happening at the hospital. And they were talking about there was dead bodies like lined up outside the hospital. And I'm literally at the hospital during this time. And I'm like, where? Like, the news, like, yeah, there's dead bodies everywhere. I'm literally working in these places doing security. I'm like, where are all these bodies at? Like, I don't get it. Like, why are y'all saying this? I'm literally here right now. There's no bodies stacked up outside. Like, y'all are lying. And people believe that shit. I'm like, I'm here right now. They're like literally acting this shit out on the news and being like, yeah, there's so many dead bodies out here. I'm like, well, I'm not seeing them. I'm here right now. Actually, I worked at the health department and I was at the hospital during some of these times when they were saying that there were dead bodies everywhere. I'm like, there definitely isn't. There definitely isn't. I don't know what, not in my reality. I'm like, in my reality, it was nobody there. You know, I'm like, I don't see any of these things in my reality. So I don't know if it was one of those parallel universe type things or we were experiencing different Earths. I mean, possibly. I didn't see none of that shit that they were talking about on the news, and I was there some of the time. I'm like, I don't know what they talking about. No, yeah. So I know people did die from it, and I'm not denying that people didn't die from it. But I will say this too: there was a lot of shady stuff going on too during that time. When I say shady stuff, I mean people were dying for other reasons than just that. Now, I think there were people that were susceptible to those supposed strains of COVID, but also I've witnessed and listened to, and YouTube might even cut me off for saying this, but I listened to documentaries about nurses that were working in the medical field at that time. And they were talking about a lot of things that were being done to people that caused them to die. But it was being labeled as a COVID death. Again, YouTube might delete this video, but fuck it, I don't give a shit. Yeah, and these were real licensed nurses, and they were losing their job, and people were dying due to a lot of their so-called treatment methods at the time. And it was proven that they were doing certain things that were causing people to die. Had they not treated the patients that way, the patient probably would not have died. There were certain medicines that they were being given at that time that were causing them to die. Before they did certain things, the patients were not dying. So it was at one point, there was a nurse that literally said that they were killing people. I didn't say it. The nurse said it. And this is coming from multiple people in the medical industry field at the time. And if they spoke out about it, they would lose their job or they would basically be censored. And we know there was a lot of censoring going on around that time. So you tell me. But I'm just a conspiracy theorist, so I'm just paranoid. I'm just crazy. I'm just a crazy, conspiracy theorist, right? 304. That's why nobody right. I mean, I don't trust a 304 period, but but I feel yeah, it was a lot of crazy stuff going on. That's why I was like, I'm like, if I get sick, I'm gonna have to just slug it out and figure it out. Cause I'm like, during this time, I'm not going to get treated for for COVID. And I got sick one time really bad, and during all that, no lie, I thought I might die. Out of all the strains that they had, I can say that I got sick seriously one time, and it was pretty bad. And what I did was I understood how the supposed, COVID, how it affected the body, which was mainly your respiratory system and your circulatory system. And so what I did was I went and got herbs that basically helped to heal that part of my body. And within like less than like a day or two, I was good. Like a day and a half even. I was good. But like for that one day, I thought I was gonna die. I'm gonna tell you right now. I thought hold on a second. I gotta let this guy in, let this truck in. Give me 1 second, all right. Pretty sure he knows where to park at, I'm assuming. Let's see. Yeah, I think he's good. Okay, yeah. He's back in. Okay, yeah. But Yeah, there was like I forget what strain it was. It was all kind of different strains. But most of the strains, I was good. I had a little bit of coughing here and there, but like, my body just, whatever it was, it fought it off. But it was one of them strains. I forget which one it was. And I mean, I was on the ground. I've never felt anything like it in my life. And like I said, when it happened, I took certain things. I fasted, and I was like, well, this is how it's gonna be. Then fuck it. I'm not getting treatment that they're giving people. So I said I felt like I had more of a chance of living through it if I just kind of trusted my body to develop some type of defense system. And again, this is just me. What I felt from what I was, what was going on, what I was seeing. And yeah, that's what I did. I took like I took some black seeds. I took vitamin C. I took elderberry, and I took what's the other one? Mullein leaf for my lungs. And I did that like back to back for like a day and a half. By that next day, I was good. And I mean, like, it went away like super quick, but it came over me like super quick. It was the weirdest thing. And I never felt any kind of sickness like that. And I'm like, yo, what is going on, bro? This is serious. Like, I'm like, something ain't right. And like, I just knew that I had to get some type of, herb system treatment going inside of me, like pronto, like ASAP. I'm like, this is an emergency. Like, this is serious. Like, my body was like, yeah, you need to do something about this like now. I literally left and went to like the herb store and got that stuff and put it in my body. And when I did that, I started to get some relief, but it was still bad for like a whole day. By that next day, the afternoon, by taking those 3 herbs back to back and then fasting for like the rest of the day, like, I was good. I was like, it was bad. I'm like, damn. But other than that, though, like, what foods do you like? Oh man, I like all kind of food. I like pizza. Like I like a little bit of everything. My favorite food is probably like I'll just say pizza. I don't know. I like pizza, but I like trying different stuff though. I like trying different stuff. I used to like eat sushi all the time, but now I'm kind of afraid to get like worms and parasites. So I don't really eat that as much. But I like sushi, but I'm afraid to eat it. I seen this video online one time where it showed like worms coming out of a piece of sushi. And ever since I've seen that, I kind of don't eat it as much. But I like Korean food. I love Korean food. Stuff like that. Pizza, Italian food. I love Indian food too. It's just really, really good restaurant down here. It's called Kalapasi, 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 Kalapasi.
Open up in there.
Should be like around 6:30.
Okay, they told me to be here by 6. All right.
Yeah. They normally. A guy normally. Yeah. Yeah. They you know where the office is at?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They normally come out around either like a little bit after 6 or like the latest like 6:30.
They'll unlock that door.
Yeah. Okay. There's normally a guy that comes out here. He'll tell you where to park at, which one of those days to park at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Last time I was here, they didn't have this.
Oh yeah.
I think they'd have made you a little bit bigger.
I know they're supposed to get a bigger one, but I'm like, that's all I got for right now.
Yeah, it's been a couple of months, I think.
Yeah. They had like a lot of building probably since you've been here last, like a lot of,
that was all under construction. There was all kinds of, you couldn't get over there, nothing. So
Yeah.
it's all A lot of this is new. Yeah, they don't have those
Yeah,
in here.
yeah. They got a lot done.
All right, so that guy will come out.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, man, I like cooking. I haven't been cooking a whole lot these days, but I'm probably gonna like get back into it. When I was in my apartment, I used to cook a lot, but I got some more cooking equipment now, so I'll probably cook more. But no, I do like to cook. I enjoy cooking. I do like to cook. I just haven't been doing it as much, but I like to cook. Yeah. Yep, sure do. I like making spaghetti. I like making lasagna, homemade macaroni and cheese. I ain't gonna lie, I used to really like doing this. Is like my ex. I used to like. She was really big on like trying making new dishes and stuff. Like she was really big on the vegan thing, which I kind of was and kind of wasn't. But she just liked to try new dishes in general. So I mean, even though like I kind of was, like I used to always cook, but I wasn't always like into like trying to make different kinds of dishes. So she kind of got me to like try making different things instead of just like the regular old baked chicken and just the usual go-to meals. So now I like to actually try to learn new things to cook that's healthier and just good in general. But yeah, I do enjoy it though. I enjoy it. Can't say I don't. Yeah, it's a lot of cool dishes to try out here now. Like I said, I really want to get back into that. I might make some content about it. I think it's good to make content. It's really a good form of content, like looking up a dish, and all you have to do is just go online, get the ingredients, and they have the instructions on there, and just follow it out. And yeah, I think cooking's really fun, like seeing how good. And I'm also a person that loves to grill too. I love to grill. Like when I actually grill and like get the fire temperature right and everything, like I grill with I use wood and I use charcoal. So when I grill something, like I marinate it and I'll use different kinds of wood. Because when you use wood, a certain kind of wood, it flavors, like the smoke flavors the meat, it gives it a whole different flavor profile. So like when I grill for real, and I marinate the meat and do certain things to it, like it's so good. Like I'm pretty good at grilling stuff. Yeah, I like veggies. Yeah, I do. I like veggies. I like to make kebabs too. On a grill. You spray them, you get like some, I don't know, like some green peppers and some onions and some freaking mushrooms, and then you get some it's all kind of stuff. Maybe like some steak or chicken, season it really good. Yeah, man. Oh yeah. Like Emerald Lagasse used to say on the Food Network. Oh yeah, babe. Oh yeah. Sugar. Yeah, I like desserts too. I'm just trying to back off the desserts. I love sugar. I'm just trying my best these days to, back. I still have my sweets, but I'm, doing my best to limit it as much as possible because, sugar, when it stores in your body, it makes it hard to lose weight because your body just stores it all, won't burn it off. But no, I do like my sweets. I'm just trying to be more mindful about it, trying to be healthier. But I do indulge though, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Like I said, I like sweets. I just try to limit my sweet, Instead of eating donuts every day, I may eat it like maybe once or twice a week. I used to eat donuts like every day on the way to work. And then get a big old giant large coffee, put a shitload of sugar in there. But I've just become more conscious of that. I realize how much sugar is going into my body, and try my best to kind of, like I said, limit it, but I know how it is though, because like I said, I like the body. It's sugar is very addicting. Our bodies like the taste of it. It's really hard to, yeah, I don't get sweets a lot. Right, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's see, like diabetes, a lot of people in my family have diabetes or had it or have it. And, I'm just trying not to become another statistic, A lot of health problems in my family were, they stem from diabetes. And once you get diabetes causes a lot of other health problems in your body. So if you lose diabetes or you keep from getting diabetes, you keep from getting a lot of other health issues. So, I've just seen way too many people in my family suffer from diabetes. And so I'm just like, I've got to be conscious of this. I got to be aware of what I'm, I just, my grandfather on both sides, they both had diabetes. My grandmother had it. My aunt has it. My uncles have it. My dad has it. My mother, she's pre-diabetic. I'm like, yo, like, I don't give a fuck if I have to go to the gym every day. Like, I can't go through that. I see what it does, and over time it does horrible things to your body. People's, limbs are, getting gangrene, and limbs are getting cut off, and people having strokes and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, man, I gotta make a change, man. It's good that you try to eat. Yeah, man. I mean, I just, and every time I want to start eating too bad, like, I just remind myself, like, listen, what can happen if you start going crazy with your diet, Plus, too, like, when I eat less sugar, like my body looks thinner, like, I feel better. Like, it's hard to be disciplined, but when I start seeing the benefits, I'm like, it makes it easier to kind of be more disciplined, It makes it easier. Oh, shoot. I'll tell you what, I got to actually get up here and I got to do my patrol. So let me actually, well, not patrol. I got to just unlock the gate. Hey, yo, hold on here for like 1 second, all right? I'll be right back if you're still here. Give me like 2 minutes.
All right, I'm back, y'all. I said y'all, it's like it's more than one person. I'm back, y'all, one person. Hey, yo, since you're here, you're y'all, okay? You're y'all. I'm back, y'all, one person. Nah, I gotta just go unlock this gate or these gates, and then I'll be done. So, but yeah, I try my best. Try my best to be healthy. Like even like right now, when I get off from here at 6, on my way home, I'm gonna go to the gym, get some cardio in, lift some weights, work my lower body out some, about an hour. Cause I already know, like, more than likely, once I get home and go to sleep, I'm probably not gonna get up and go to the gym before work. So I just said, you know what? I would rather go and get an hour workout on my way home. That way, I got my calorie burning in for like the day. And then, if I have extra energy or, I get up in time, then I can go again, on the way to work. So I know if I go, on my way home, I know that I'll get my workout in at least once, during the day today. So, and I've noticed too, like, weight is starting to kind of come off some. My face is kind of slimming down some. So, yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Starting to get a little muscle on me now too. Starting to see some results slowly but surely. So yeah. Plus, it just kind of makes me, when you go to the gym, it kind of feels like you're making progress. Like a lot of other, when it doesn't always feel like, I'm making progress. I am. It doesn't always feel like I'm making progress because a lot of stuff you do, it takes a long time before you start to see results. But working out is one of those things. I mean, working out could be the same way too, but I've been being pretty consistent about working out and, pretty consistent about eating better, where I'm starting to see some results now, at least in my opinion. So it's just a good feeling, gives you a sense of fulfillment, even if it's in, subtle ways. I think it's just generally good for your mental health, What music do I like? Again, that's another one of those things. I like different kinds of music. I like a little bit of metal. I like old school R&B. I like all kinds of genres. I'm very, very open when it comes to music. My father was a big oldies fan, so I love oldies. Temptation, Spinners, all the oldies, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, all of them. I like Jill Scott, like the R&B, modern R&B, Drew Hill, I like everything. I love everything. I like the 80s rock, rock music. There's very few genres of music that I don't like, I love 80s music though. 80s music is just, I don't like everybody, but typically I don't really like music that is talking about like, negative things unless I'm just in that kind of mood,